What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Around the World with Steven. Welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, I appreciate you. Worldies and travelers, how y'all doing? I miss you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. Words can describe how much I love you. Today we have a wonderful video from Run Mango. Well, I mean, Run Mango cases are heavy. I wouldn't use wonderful, and I'm not using wonderful in the actual sense of wonderful. This one says teen went on truth-telling TV show to win money, told 18 personal secrets, then was unalived. Okay, this is sad and troubling just to read it. It's crazy. A teen, get it? A teen went on this show just to win a prize. Ended up getting unalived. Oh my goodness. I can't begin to imagine how horrendous this even sounds. Bro. Oh man, like, share, subscribe. Let's get into this. I don't know what Truth TV show is to win money, but there was a show in America called Truth something, where you'd have a polygraph and then you go on the show. So they ask you the questions from the polygraph and then you win money that way. But that was an American show. And I don't know if that is what this show is talking about. Oh my goodness. Let's get it.
Bada bing, bada boo.
Ruth had a lot on her mind about this whole relationship. I mean, she was fine with the relationship. It's fine. She's fine. Brian, her boyfriend, is fine. But like, really, what is fine? It's not love. It's not passion. It's just fine.
Uh-oh.
Ruth had been thinking about this for a little bit of time. I mean, she just never got the chance to voice it out loud, because how do you even begin to explain something like this? She could feel herself almost waiting for someone better to come along. I mean, deep down, she knew that Brian is just kind of a placeholder. He's not who she wants to be with in the long run.
Whoa.
She feels like she could easily find someone that's better than Brian, but she's just used to Brian because it's fine. Ruth is sitting in front of Brian, just looking at him, and because it's fine. Ruth is sitting in front of Brian, just looking at him, and he looks anxious. His leg is bouncing up and down. It's like the nervous shakes, but he's quiet. He's not talking. He won't even look her in the eye. He's just waiting for Ruth to say something. I mean, isn't that why we're all here anyway? Didn't she want to tell him something? Ruth starts, and she admits, she doesn't find him necessarily that smart. Okay, well, that's harsh, but she feels like he lacks ambition, and he's just, quote, he's just a taxi driver.
Oh, shit.
The truth comes spilling out of Ruth. I mean, it's a painful ordeal. If you were to see this unfold and witness this whole conversation, you would cringe from the stress. It's just so uncomfy. If this is happening inside of a local coffee shop, I wouldn't even stay to listen. I would get up and leave, because it's such a vulnerable conversation that's so much to take in. I don't want to be a part of it. But Brian, he can't just get up and walk away. Ruth is staring at him. But also, so are Ruth's parents. They're sitting right next to him, listening to all of this. They're watching this whole raw conversation go down.
So Ruth, boyfriend, and the parents are all sitting together.
And Brian looks up, and it feels like everyone is staring at him, just waiting for him to react. He can see the first row of people clearly. No one's moving. They're holding their breath, but somehow he can feel that they feel pity for him.
Oh, shit.
He can almost see it in their body language. The lights are too bright, so he can't see all of their faces, but he can feel it. The second row of people, their faces are less clear, but from the body language, he can also feel that they feel pity for him. He's got a whole audience. He glances around at all of them, just sitting in their seats, staring at him, and no one wants to meet his eye. Like, they physically look away if he tries to look at them. The only things staring back at him are the film cameras. He feels the studio lights, and his neck is getting all sweaty. He can feel his cheeks go red. 100-something people just witnessed the most embarrassing, painful, pitiful moment of Brian's life in real time. His girlfriend telling him that she thinks she can do better than him.
Damn. No way. Are you kidding me? So it's just like the show I was talking about. If you know the show I was talking about, it is called, I don't think it's still on TV. It was canceled because it broke a lot of marriages. Like a lot of people got divorced. It crumbled a lot of because they asked personal questions. So it's like this show has the same premise. Oh man, I don't like it. There's a drama, but people like drama, and that's what makes for entertaining TV. Unfortunately, in this world we live in, man, this is sad.
And soon, the cameramen are going to import the footage, edit it with some dramatic sound effects, and they're going to linger longer on his pain, emphasizing his hurt, his betrayal. And then soon, millions across the nation are going to watch this very moment. This is the moment of truth. Cue the theme music for the truth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I knew it. This is the show. But this is not English. Wait, this wasn't an American show? Wait, they had this show in other countries too? You've got to be kidding me. Bro, this show's so scandalous. This show is so messy that I think my first few episodes I watched, I was feeling pain for their spouses sitting in front with their family members. Their spouses, their family members, and everybody is sitting in the front row. It is so depressing, like watching the reactions to the tougher personal stuff. And they stir up drama every time. They can have your ex come ask you a question. They can have somebody who banged you once come ask you a question in front of your partner. Yeah, that was the show. Yo, man, this is so surreal. This show, I knew it.
Reality TV show that Brian is on, where contestants win money for sharing their deepest, darkest secrets, and oftentimes illegal secrets even. The catch is that the contestant must bring their loved ones on and answer the questions truthfully in front of them.
Yeah, this was the show, right?
Yeah.
Is this still going on?
No, I don't think so, at least not in the US or in Peru, yeah. Now, Brian had found himself on stage with his 18-year-old girlfriend, Ruth, and her parents. All of them were forced to listen to Ruth's deepest, darkest confessions being exposed on national television.
Bro, you know what sucks about this? She was 18. She was only 18. She just became an adult in certain countries. And then she partakes in this game. Who advised her to play this game? I mean, if I need money that much, I'm not desperate enough to let out secrets. There's a reason why they're called secrets. The money you're going to get will finish, but the secrets you let out will be out for the rest of your life. There's a reason why it's called secret. This show I thought was you selling your secret live on air and getting money for it. They're paying for your secrets live on air, disguised as a show. It is crazy.
But some things are better left unsaid.
Right.
Because one of her confessions would lead to Ruth's murder. Because there are people out there that cannot handle the truth.
Damn, bro. Somebody gonna lie somebody because of this show. I mean, dang, man. What?
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the National Network to End Domestic Violence. NNEDV is a nonprofit dedicated to serving survivors of relational abuse and ending all relational violence around the world. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team of dedicated researchers and translators. And we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates of these causes. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. Now, a super brief disclaimer. disclaimer, we did have our professional Spanish translator on this case. However, they aren't as familiar with the Peruvian dialect. So as with any case, but especially the international ones, please let us know in the comments if anything was accidentally mistranslated or miscommunicated. Last thing to note, the media in this case refers to sex work as in a few direct quotes that will be said verbatim. So there's a reason for it. You'll soon find out. The terminology is not a reflection of the language used personally by me or the RM team and will only be stated as in direct quotes. So with that being said, let's get started. Do you know what a green hat slave is?
Green hat slave.
Yes. So there is a word for it in English. It's cuckold. It's typically a man who enjoys watching his partner have intimate relations with another individual. In China, it's called a green hat slave because when a partner is cheating on someone, that person is wearing a green hat. So for example, if a man's wife is cheating on him, it's said that the man is wearing a green hat. But if you're a green hat slave, that means you know that your wife is cheating, you know that your husband is cheating, and you like it.
I've never understood that phenomenon. Never understood it. Never. Like having somebody peg your partner in front of you like they are just going in front of you, bro. I can't even say here, bro. Why? I mean, who brought that and how is it even? Do you hate your partner so much? But I guess, hey, to each their own, I guess. Damn, a green hat slave. Never heard that term before. Okay, in my vocabulary now.
Want more of it. You want them to cheat on you. The more traditional sentiment around relationships like this is the man, typically it's a man, I think there's different words for different genders, but typically the man in the relationship enjoys being humiliated.
Yikes.
By being forced to watch his wife or his partner be satisfied by somebody else, it's a very demeaning experience. One person said, "It is so complicated. Multiple emotions just layered over one another and it's pulling you in all these different directions." I felt sick to my stomach with anxiety, but also so excited to know all about the details of what my wife did with that partner later on. I would alternate between almost having a panic attack and then to being insanely excited, which, all of it sounds a bit interesting, like a bit out there, right? But statistics show that up to 20% of men in the US fantasize about cheating wives. It's a very popular search term.
What? 20% of men thinking about their wife cheating on them?
Yeah, fantasize.
Fantasizing about your wife cheating on you is, I would say it's a mental illness, man. If you're fantasizing about that, don't get married. Take somebody, pretend she's your wife, have her pretend you're her husband, sign a contract with her or something. It has to be consensual, and then have somebody peg her without the commitment of marriage, because that to me breaks the purpose of marriage, right? I mean, how can you watch someone peg your wife and be happy about it and go about telling people that's what I want? 20% of America likes that? Whoa. I don't know, man.
Like, excited about that?
Yes, I'm sure that a good majority of that group do not ever act on it. But I guess it is like
intrusive thought? Or
I think it goes a little bit more than intrusive thought. I think it was like the types of videos they watch, types of fantasies that they perhaps have.
Okay.
They say it's a complex symphony of emotions. They say that there's jealousy, shame, arousal, inadequacy, gratitude, lust. And so the first step of humiliation is to know that your wife or your partner is with another man. Then the next step would be to see it play out. Watch it, knowing that you're not a part of it. You're not involved unless they ask you to. That you can't just join them because you want to. You just have to sit and watch.
Bro, but that's your wife. They have to ask you to join before you join. What is this? Like a Catch Me If You Can sex edition or something like that? I don't know. Bro, you have somebody pegging your wife in front of you, like with baby oil and stuff, like Didi style. And then you have to be given permission to come and join in. On your own wife, bro. Dang. Oh man, that is crazy, man. I'm learning a lot today. I'm learning stuff I don't want to learn today.
Then the third step would be having others know what's going on.
Like publicized.
Yes, that
What?
is the ultimate humiliation. Everybody knows that you're a green hat slave, and you almost get off on people looking at you with those eyes of like, oh, it's okay. It's gonna, ooh, I don't really. The pity,
Nigga.
the embarrassment. Some people like that. So for people who enjoy this type of pleasure mixed in with humiliation, I guess it's understandable. I mean, I think many intimate activities are a thin balance of pleasure and pain, and I imagine that humiliation falls into the psychological pain aspect rather than like physical pain. And as long as it's between consenting adults, I think more power to you. It's great. Do whatever you want. But what about the people who experience this involuntarily?
Oh,
Like being
how?
cheated on.
So publicly and being called a which is a very demeaning term for most heterosexual men. They get
Damn.
green hat slaved without wanting to be. It happens to them and they're just left with all that humiliation and none of the pleasure. Then what happens? There's a truth-telling reality show called Moment of Truth. There's actually a lot of versions of Moment of Truth. There's even Moment of Truth Korea, and I believe most of them, they're no longer in production, but it was remade by a ton of different countries, and each version of this reality show has a slightly different rules. But I'm just gonna go over the main ones that are pretty consistent across the board. This is how
Nigga, before you go over it, Run Mango, damn, I didn't know there was Moment of Truth almost in every country. That's crazy. And then there was a Korean version. Bro, the show broke marriages in America. I'm only imagining what it did in other countries. Already we're about to learn about an unalivement that took place because of the show. If there's a series about this, about what Moment of Truth did, I would gladly watch it to see the damage it did. Not for gratification or anything, but just for like, one, curiosity, and two, how like vile the whole concept was and how much excitement people had. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
how the game show works. There are 21 questions in total that you, the contestant, will be asked. The questions are going to be divided into 6 different levels. Each level, 1 through 6, has a grand monetary prize at the end. So you get to level 2, for example, and you win $10,000. Then you finish level 3 and you win $50,000. Like that. And technically, as long as you don't lie, as long as you don't break any rules, you can decide to stop at the end of any of the levels. So for example, if you get to level 4 and you haven't broken any of the rules, there is no rule that forces you to keep going. You can walk away with whatever money that you've already accrued, and it's not like an all or nothing type of show. The money goes up per level, and so do the intensity of the questions, but you don't have to go to level 6.
But if you go to level 6 and then you lied, do you lose it all?
You lose it all. At any point, if you lie, you lose it all.
Okay.
Yeah, that is how screwed up this game was. I remember seeing people shed a lot of secrets. They're climbing up the levels, $10,000, $20,000. They're just climbing up and up and up to like a big time money. And then there's a scandalous question and they answer it wrong. So they lose all their money. They leave the show with $0 and a broken marriage and a disgraceful reputation. It is sick, this show. It is sick. If you haven't seen it before and you watch it, it's sad. I mean, it's crazy sad.
Any point. In fact, it's actually unheard of to get to level 6. There's only one person in the entire history of the show in America that made it to level 6.
Dang.
And that whole season could not be aired because of what she exposed. Her last question for $500,000 was, do you believe that your father had intimate relations with a minor?
What?
And she answered yes. And the answer was proven to be correct.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that was level 6. The money does go up per level, and the intensity of the questions naturally also go up. So the first level, it actually consists mainly of social dilemma questions. Would you rather give food to a man without a home or a stray dog? It reveals a lot about your character, but it can almost I mean, it can almost be like dinner table conversations with a group of drunk friends. It doesn't reveal too many personal details of the contestants' lives. And this is done intentionally. It almost tricks the contestant to feeling at ease. Like, oh, this isn't that bad. I mean, I got this. Like, if it keeps going like this, we're going to have a good time. I'm going to walk away with a ton of money. And it just sucks them in deeper. But that is the whole point of the show. They're not supposed to have a good time. Then, as the levels progress, the questions start getting more and more invasive. And they're not even just personal questions. They're really, really specific, shameful questions that reveal the darkest secrets of the contestants' personal, family life, work life. These are the types of questions you would not admit to anybody. I would say across the board, most people wouldn't even admit to these questions if they got paid. And if you lie, once again, you forfeit all the prize money that you've won so far. It is psychologically incredibly invasive. And for those reasons, very difficult to win. But people keep trying. Peru is finally going to have its own version of the game show franchise, The Moment of Truth. The Peruvian version would actually be called The Value of Truth, hosted by the human wildfire of a man, Beto Ortiz. Yeah, okay, so that's how a lot of people describe him. He is this influential TV journalist. They say that he's a monster.
Oh,
so
shit.
Either you say that someone's a beast with a lot of respect, or you say it with a lot of hatred. That's Beto. Like, it's very hard to find him a neutral personality.
People don't like him?
People either love him or they absolutely despise every fiber of his being. But
like a Stephen A. Smith character, like who else? Like people in the forefront who share opinion, who have opinions. Like, say, a Charlemagne the God, right? Charlemagne has people that adore him and people that despise him. I mean, if you're up in the limelight, if you're in the entertainment industry, it is something that is there. You hardly find people who have neutral or nuanced opinions about you. That is crazy. And that show actually goes for a host that can talk, that can sell drama, that can, they don't just ask you the questions. They ask you follow-up questions just to stoke the fire and to raise anticipation for what question comes next. So yeah, they need a personality like that, a personality that is as controversial as him to be able to market the show.
most people would agree that his casting for the show as the host, pretty on point.
Right.
Some people said that he's like a human lie detector. He can spot bullshit from a mile away. And that little girl sitting in front of him for the premiere, the very first episode of The Value of Truth in Peru, does not smell like bullshit at all. In fact, she smells very normal. Honestly, even Beto was a little confused. 18-year-old Ruth? I mean, I'm sure she's nice, but what the hell is she doing on a show like this? She looks...
What the hell is an 18-year-old doing and being the first person to premiere this show? 18-year-old? Not somebody who can lose their marriage and still be okay. This is an 18-year-old that is starting in life. Your adult life begins with controversy. This was so wrong on so many levels, and I'm surprised adults watched this and did not give feedback. This show was never done in Peru before. This was the premiere show, the first show. Bro, an 18-year-old? This is so invasive. Like, I would understand like a 45-year-old woman who has 3 kids. It's not like it's better, but she's enjoyed life. She's an adult. She's made friends. She has a stable job. She has kids. It's fine. She's lived to some point. Not an 18-year-old. That's foul.
Very normal, average college student. She's got shoulder-length brown hair and she's smiley, but not overly extroverted or bubbly. Just smiley. Beto has seen a lot of people in his career, and the best way to describe the one sitting in front of him right now, Ruth, is just with one word. Average? She's pretty average. I mean, the way that he describes it is average. I mean, pretty, but nothing special. She's also a college student that works at one of those customer service call centers. I mean, what could she possibly have to hide? Which, whatever. That's not his problem. He's just the host. That's the reality TV show producer's problem. If they cast the wrong contestant, that's on them. Beta waits for the studio audience to be given the cue to, zip it because we're about to start filming. There's about 100 people in the live audience. The studio lights are beaming down from the top on him and Ruth. On camera, it's going to look like this dimly lit, atmospheric little set, but in reality, there's a lot of lights that need to be on for it to look that good. It's for the aesthetics, but also, in reality shows, the heat of the studio lights. People don't expect it. It's almost like sitting under the sun. You're inside, the AC's pumping. Technically, you have no reason to be sweating, but the heat of the lights, if you've never been in the TV business, it's very uncomfortable. And that is exactly what they want to make a game show contestant feel. Uncomfortable. And they're filming. Beto looks over at Ruth, and suddenly he sees it. The minute that the cameras turn on, they start filming a small glimpse of why she was casted. The minute that they start in action, she seems to have almost this playful look in her eyes. Maybe she is hiding something. Beto looks at the cameras. Today, a Peruvian is 21 questions away from winning 50,000 sols in cash. Will there be any honest person left in Peru? It's time to find out the value of truth. The double doors open, like Shark Tank, open up, and an 18-year-old girl walks onto the stage. Good evening. Are you nervous, Ruth Thalia? Yes, a little, but it's normal, I imagine, to be nervous. Is there something you want to reveal to your family and loved ones today? Today? Yes. Very well. Are you ready to tell the truth in front of your family, to yourself, and all of Peru? Yes, I'm ready. Please, take a seat. She sits down on this red leather chair, and this is how it all starts. Ruth Thalia Sea Sanchez, university student studying computer science, call operator at a call center, 18 years old, lives with her parents. She's looking at her parents who are sitting directly in front of her. This is interesting. The show's whole concept is to have the contestant bring in their closest loved ones and make them sit there and listen to the truth. You're being held hostage by the truth. Typically, 3 guests are allowed. Please introduce yourselves. We have Ruth's mom, Ruth's dad, and Ruth's boyfriend, Brian. The host also thinks that Brian is nothing special, by the way. I mean, he just looks so average. Kind, but again, average, typical neighbor.
Listen, Mr. Host, man, these are kids. Whether you like to think you're 18-year-olds in college doing call center job, that's an 18-year-old and her boyfriend. You don't expect them to have all these like accolades and things you're looking forward for a contestant to have. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have casted an 18-year-old and her boyfriend for the first episode, which I have a problem with, but you describing them as average, man, it's taking me off the wrong way. It's crazy. The host should chill out a little bit.
Boy trying to make it driving those moto taxis. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're open. It's not really like a car. It's like a motorcycle with a carriage in the back. Just trying to survive. He's got a girlfriend, probably goes out on the weekends to have fun, and then the cycle repeats, and pretty much nothing spectacular. That's the rest of his future and the rest of his life. That's how Beto feels. Brian Romero Levia. Everyone give Brian an applause. Thank you for accepting to come and accompany your girlfriend Ruth Thalia in this challenge that she has chosen to go through. How are you feeling, Brian? You seem nervous. Your right leg moves on and on like it's got a mind of its own. What are you so nervous about?
Damn.
That she may have cheated on me?
Whoa.
Everybody laughs, including Ruth, and the host tries to smile and calm Brian's anxiety. Well, let's not forget, this is all just a game. Relax, and let's take it slowly.
Mi nombre es Vilma Rosario Sánchez Rojas, mamá de Ruth.
Muy bien, un aplauso para ella.
Ruth's mom.
Leoncio Sayas Antesana.
Leoncio, bienvenido. Tú eres el enamorado.
Brian Romero Leiva.
Brian Romero, un aplauso para Brian.
They're just sitting on this long couch in front of Ruth and the host. And with that, they begin. Question number 1. Have you ever skipped class without your mother knowing? Ruth glances over at her mom, and her mom is biting the inside of her cheek, and Ruth's eyes are just going left and right and right and left, and there's a small smirk on her face. Technically, her parents gave up everything for her and her sister to be able to attend university. They were the first in their family to attend. I mean, the sacrifice there is pretty huge. But yes, The answer is yes, I have skipped class without my mom knowing. Ruth is biting her lip and she's like glancing at her mom, and the robotic voice comes on. There's always a long pause after the contestants answer, and the host is not the one telling her if she lied or not. A robotic voice comes on. The answer is correct. It is the truth. The audience starts clapping and Ruth's mom is smiling, but also giving her like a playful, we're going to talk about this when we get home look. But it's all cute, you know? Ruth is 18. She's an adult. The energy is very much, she admitted to stealing a cookie from the cookie jar.
La respuesta es verdad.
Yeah, the English version is even terrifying because when the contestants answer the question, after they answer the question, the voice comes like, that answer is, and there is a long pause. The anticipation. Sometimes when the voice comes on, that answer is, you hear the room, you hear the people like you hear them murmuring to themselves, or like the anticipation, and you hear that drum roll, but it's not a big drum roll, it's just subtle. It is crazy how the show was put together and the thought that went into it. It's crazy. It builds so much anticipation. It's crazy.
How many questions? Oh, you said 21, but how
21.
many is in the level 1? Like 4?
So level 1 is 6, level 2, 5. It's a pyramid. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And then level 6 is just one question.
Wow.
One question.
It must be really, really crazy question.
Oh,
yeah. Like, did your dad have intimate relations with a minor?
Wow.
Yeah. Question number 2. Have you ever had a nose job? Yes. And the answer is true. Question number 3. Are you satisfied with your appearance? Ruth admits she does try to take care of herself. She likes to diet, you know, and she doesn't really have the energy or the motivation to really go to the gym and work out. So she might not really have like the most care about her physical appearance. But I mean, yeah, to a degree, she cares a bit. The host tries to egg her on. When you see yourself in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see a Chinese girl, an Indian girl, or an indigenous woman? Well, I see myself a bit on the dark side. Would you like to be white? Yes. So, are you satisfied with your appearance? No. The answer is true. Meaning, she is not satisfied with her appearance. Question number 4. Do you think being pretty achieves more things than being a good person? The camera pans to Brian. I mean, I guess nobody wants to have a superficial partner or girlfriend who thinks looks are everything, right? Ruth looks a little bit more nervous this time. I mean, she almost rolls her eyes, but it's not like, so annoying, I'm rolling my eyes. It's just like I don't really know where to look right now. I'm kind of getting uncomfortable. Yes. The show leaves a long pause.
You say the question was, do you think looking pretty can get you further than being a good person,
Yes.
right? Okay, I see.
And the answer is true. Ruth keeps biting her lip, and even her family is starting to look a little bit uncomfortable now. But, I mean, everyone starts clapping. It's the way society is. It's not Ruth, it's society.
Yeah. Now, with that question about being pretty and being a good person, if you're in America or maybe you say some first world countries, it's an ordinary question. I mean, you just blurt out, yes, that's what I think. Society's messed up. But if you're from a very, like, say, a conservative type of background, like a country that is very religious and stuff like that, that is a big deal of a question. Well, not a bigger deal than did your father have sex with a minor? No. But it's a big deal. It is like everybody's watching you. You go to church. You've got to answer. So that question is not a big deal in some parts of the world. It's like an ordinary question. It's not a question you bat an eye to. But in other parts of the world, wait, you think being pretty is better than being a good person? You would have people stop talking to you because of that. Yes.
Question number 5. If you see a person drop $250 on the ground, are you returning it to them or are you pocketing it? So the question is, do you return it to them? Earlier in the episode, Ruth was asked about how she felt about money, if it's a big priority for her. And just being honest, she told the host, yeah, it is. It's one of my biggest worries in life. I mean, she has to think about money a lot, not because she's obsessed with money or that she's materialistic, but when you don't have something that you need to survive, you're gonna fixate on it.
Right.
It's not like she's money hungry. It's just she just doesn't have a lot of it. So yeah, it is a huge concern. This conversation does make Brian a little bit uncomfortable, and he's nervously touching his shirt nonstop.
The money question?
Yeah. Because I think, as maybe a boyfriend, you feel the pressure to make money.
Right.
Now, Ruth's parents, they're both nervous as well. Her dad is hunched over. He's smiling, but it's not a real smile. It looks like he's trying to hide how uncomfortable that question is. It's very awkward. Even if a lot of people would answer, no, I'm not going to give it back to them. It's $250. I'm going to take the $250. The answer feels wrong. That's not the answer that you want to say. Mm-hmm. It's not something that anyone would want to willingly admit to everybody. But Ruth answers definitively, no, I would not give the money back. I would take the $250. The answer is true. The audience is not clapping. Usually they clap when the answer is true, but they're like, wow, I would never. I would automatically, of course, give it back to them because I am much more morally and ethically sound than this girl on stage.
Yes. And also, like I said in my last point, bro, if you are from a country that is typically conservative, typically religious, such questions actually can define who you are and can have you judged or not. And it's fascinating. Other countries that are more liberal, not very religious and stuff like that, they don't see that question as anything, man. All right, hey, I'll return it. I will not return it. You have people say, ooh, really? You won't return it? You bad person, but life goes on. But in countries like that, religious countries, like, what? Bro, no. You cannot. You cannot. Some people will look at you a certain way. It's crazy.
They're more like, yikes.
La respuesta es that.
Bueno. Dang.
But the show must go on.
Right.
This is just level 1. And question number 6, Ruth. This is the last one for level 1. Once this is complete, you have the choice on whether or not you want to advance to level 2. Have you ever gone 20 days or longer without showering?
Wait, what kind of question is this?
Ruth glances down. Yes. The answer is true. And everyone in the audience starts laughing and starts clapping loudly. Ruth has just passed level 1. 6 questions, all answered truthfully, and she will now advance to level 2. The questions were simple. Funny even. She answers the questions honestly, and with each honest answer, she gets one step closer to her big monetary prize, and everybody's happy. She's happy, her family's happy, the audience is happy.
Do you know, how much was level 1?
$250.
Whoa.
Oh, what's
Yes.
the final price?
So the final price is $13,500. However, this is in comparison to Peruvian minimum wage. That would be a few years worth of work. So I guess the equivalent in the United States would be, so the cash prize for America was $500,000
Wow.
for winning the whole show.
Oh.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so I know that maybe in context, because if we put it into USD and considering the standard of living, it might not sound like enough money to reveal these types of secrets to the whole nation, but I'm going to try to put it into context,
Right.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Everybody's happy about this. She just won $250. Everyone's happy, but happy is not good TV. You know how a group of crows are called a murder? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's said that a group of producers, especially reality TV producers, is called a manipulation. That's what they do. Reality TV producers, they're there to create good TV. Nothing else really matters. If they can't...
Yeah, it's a good name too. It's a good name. A manipulation of producers. They manipulate everything. Reality TV, everything. Movies, everything. Manipulate. They manipulate everything. Good name.
do it, they lose their job as producers. The sweet spot for a show like this would be for a contestant to get far enough that secrets are exposed, their lives are ruined, but not that far where they take home too much money, because then that comes out of the show's pocket. And picking each contestant is a very big deal. How do you even know if their secret is even worth the amount of money that they're winning? Let's say they get to level 5. Are their secrets even worth the amount of money that the show now has to pay them out for? Does the audience even care about them like that? But also, how do the producers know any of this going into the show? Like, do they just randomly pick someone off the street and they're like, you look like you're hiding a lot of secrets? Mm-hmm. This is what they do before the show. Producers will find out everything about a potential contestant's life even before considering them. They run background checks. They talk to the family members, friends, old classmates. They spend a full day with contestants going through their room, watching them, analyzing all the people they talk to. But the moment of truth, they go even a step further. They do something very fascinating. They conduct polygraph tests for casting.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Right.
Like, how do they know, right? They must...
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of reality TV shows will actually put you through a very extensive personality test.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, to see how, I guess, unstable you are so that they can manipulate you. When you start reading into it, it makes you really second guess every reality TV show that you've ever watched in your life. It's pretty dark. But they do a polygraph test. They will conduct polygraphs and ask strategic questions based on what they picked up about that potential contestant. So they already spent a day with them. They did background checks. They talked to their friends, family, old classmates, and they have an inkling. They're like, I have a suspicion that this person is stealing from work. I have a suspicion that this person is doing something illegal, is cheating on their partner, is doing this. Their kid is not, that's not the dad, that's not the mom. Like, well, it's gotta be the mom, right? That's not the dad. Like, you get it. They pick up on all these things and they will come up with a formula of questions to ask during a polygraph. Now, of course, most of the contestants are gonna lie the first time. Are you cheating on your husband? No. Are you cheating on your wife? No. Are you stealing from your family? No, the polygraph will indicate that they are lying. Does that mean that they can't be a contestant? Because the whole point of the show is to tell the truth. But they already lied. No, that means they're perfect. They will jot down this question, the contestant is lying. So if you're lying about cheating, that means you are having an affair. So guess what they're going to ask you on stage? Are you having an affair?
Right.
Okay.
Then a few days later, the contestants are brought back to answer the same exact questions once more, but this time in front of a live studio audience and multiple studio cameras that are filming every angle, every microfacial expression to be enhanced, edited, and dramatized during post-production, and then finally aired for the whole nation to see. The answers given in front of the crowd are then compared to the results of the polygraph test. Then later, when the contestant is on the show, not hooked up to a lie detector, they will compare those and determine if you are lying or not. Now,
before Stephanie goes ahead, this is interesting. I didn't know they spent a whole day with the contestants, talking to family, talking to friends, coworkers, and stuff like that. I think that is crazy for a show that has you spilling your secrets. The producers go through all these rigorous activities just for you to come on the show and spill your secrets? Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Now, you have to pray to God that you have some good friends, you have some good neighbors, you have some good coworkers, because somebody can sell your secrets out and they wouldn't have to do extra work. They will just take questions and stuff from what they find from your coworkers or some shitty friends. Some friends are not worth having because they'll sell your secrets like that. They don't even care. They will sell your secrets like that and come talk to you like they did nothing wrong. Oh yeah, I have your back, I'll have your back. But they're selling your secret to producers. And they're going to ask you questions like that on stage. You're like, well, how did they get those questions? Well, yeah, that shitty friends you have sold your questions to them. Be very selective with friends. That's what I can say. It's crazy.
Oh, so they do it 3 times?
just twice.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, what's very interesting is that polygraphs are not that accurate. They're not even used in the court system as evidence for that very reason, that they're just not that reliable. I mean, one way that you could allegedly beat a polygraph is put a thumbtack in your shoe.
Yikes.
Yeah, you put a thumbtack in your shoe, and every time that you answer something truthfully, or like you want a specific result. So if you want everything to be perceived as true or false, you step on it so that it's very consistent. So let's say I'm lying and I say I did not eat mango, okay? But I did eat it. Then I would step on the thumbtack.
So when you're lying, you're stepping on the thumbtack. And then when you're telling the truth,
you step on the thumbtack.
Step on it.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. So I say, is your name Stephanie? I step on the thumbtack and I say, yes, my name is Stephanie because that's the truth. But then you ask me, did you eat mango's mango? And I step on the
Wait,
thumbtack.
is this real? Really? You just do that?
We don't know. This is a speculation. Recently, there were a lot of cops who were arrested for teaching perpetrators how to beat polygraphs.
Wait, but you just shared that.
I don't know I think that there's better ways. I think this is just like a very colloquial, what's on Reddit type of way. But I'm sure.
But yeah, I mean, that makes sense because with the thumbtacks thing, if you put thumbtacks in your shoe and you're stepping on it, what polygraph registers is your heart rate, your nerves, your nervous system when you're answering questions. So they ask you truthful questions that what is your name, right? You know your name. You're going to answer your name. And it measures your heartbeat. It measures your heart rate. It measures your nerves. Okay, cool. So what did you eat today? Okay, it measures it. And then they keep asking you questions. Now, after the test questions go, they start asking you questions they know you might be deceptive. Now, if your nerves and heart rate spike, they know you are being deceptive because this is your baseline here. And then all of a sudden they ask you a question and then you answer, but it spikes. And then it's all over the place. And then they realize that, nah, you're being deceptive. Why would you all of a sudden show these signs? Faster heart rate, irregular, like pulsing everywhere. Like your asshole's even pulsing. Like, yeah. So that is how they find deception in polygraphs. With a thumbtacks thing, why you step on it the whole time is if you're asked the test questions and you're stepping on the thumbtacks and it's recording higher heartbeats like this, anytime you answer a question, truthful or not, once you're stepping on it, it's going to maintain that. You're going to feel pain. Your heart's going to beat because it knows you're going to step on a thumbtack. Your body is bracing for it. So it's going to record that throughout. And they're not going to be able to detect deception. That is why people either beat polygraph or polygraphs come out as inconclusive because they're not able to detect lies in the polygraphs. I don't know if that makes sense.
That there's maybe much more enhanced ways to beat it, like in a foolproof plan. I don't think that this is foolproof. I think this is maybe better than not stepping on a thumbtack. You know what's actually best is not take a polygraph and get an attorney would be the best. But
right,
yeah,
smart.
Wow, and there's cops trying to teach people.
Yes, and they were recently arrested, a few of them. It's been a
Cops do that. The CIA, FBI people involved in espionage and stuff like that. They do that all the time. They teach you ways to beat polygraphs. I was listening to documentaries about espionage and it's funny. Like people even clench buttholes, like how to the sphincter muscle in your butt, your anal cavity, how to even control it can have you beat polygraphs. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that is crazy. There are different ways, different methods. You go to Reddit, people are sharing their opinions. Yeah, I beat a polygraph. I use this method and stuff like that. And you're like, yeah, that one sounds good. That one is shitty. So it's crazy.
problem, apparently. What that means, what makes it even more interesting is the first time around, if someone is cheating on their partner, they could lie and say that they're not, and the polygraph could easily read it as them telling the truth. But on stage, because they don't know their results of the first polygraph, and because they believe everyone knows their lies at this point, they just confess to the cheating. Does that make sense? It's like you take a polygraph, but the results are not that accurate. But when you're on stage, because of the subliminal messaging and the bias that's been fed to you that they know the truth.
So you just tell the truth.
Yeah,
Right.
you end up telling the truth anyway.
So what does that mean? That means they don't know if you're telling the truth or not?
I feel like it's very loose. But naturally, the contestants just end up telling the truth.
I mean, I guess that is true. Like, how do you prove that whatever you
Exactly.
say is truth or not. Like it's all just the producer's call. They can say anything is true or false
Yes.
based on what you said. And you can't even argue. Like, no, I didn't, or yes, I did. Like nobody will believe you.
No, they won't. And also polygraphs, even if they're like, well, the polygraph results, well, polygraphs are not that accurate. So it just is like a
Yeah.
very interesting concept if you really sit there and think about it.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
problematic to say the least.
Yeah. So Ruth was chosen because the producers knew that she's hiding secrets from her family. Stuff that would be shocking, get a visceral reaction when they're exposed in front of not just her family, but in front of the whole nation at the same time. The producers said, the reality is, we knew what she was lying about. Deep down, we knew that she was lying and we knew that she was hiding stuff. So she was the perfect contestant for the show. It's our job to make sure those secrets get out. All the unpleasant, uncomfortable details aired for the world to see. That's our job.
Nah, man. The producer is crazy. The reason I say that is there's no telling that what you think or what you're assuming is the truth. There's no telling that what the information you're getting from the family is the truth anyway. You don't know. You don't know the information you're getting from their family is the truth. You don't know. All you're doing is you're banking on getting right information. And even if the polygraph proves that that is the truth and it's not the truth, who are you to determine? You cannot determine. The show's premise, in my opinion, is that producers run the show. The producers determine what is true and what is not true. Screw the polygraph. The polygraph has its answers. Fine. But if you're winning a lot of money and you've told all the interesting secrets, the next question you answer truthfully would be a lie so that there is a cap. You lose all the money and all your secrets are out. Because if you watch the shows, all those that lost money at crucial times were people that spilled disgusting secrets. They had already spilled disgusting secrets, and the question that came, they knew, you know what? I have said all these secrets. I'm about to answer this right. So when they are told it was a lie and they've lost all the money, the shock on their faces, like, what? But that is true. And then that is where I knew the producers are. They run this thing. It's not about polygraph. The polygraph is to make you think that you're getting the accurate results. You're not. It's crazy.
We head into level 2. Question 7. Are you embarrassed by your family's manners?
Yikes.
It's not a great question to ask someone, but I get it. That's the whole point. Ruth did admit earlier in the show that she wished that she had grown up in better conditions. Her family definitely was part of the disadvantaged part of Peru, and while her parents felt really proud of where they came from and how they worked so hard in spite of their circumstances, her mom is a singer, her dad plays the harp in a band. It sounds like prestigious careers, but they spend most of their time trying to perform in the so-called dustier parts of town. Ruth felt like, yeah, I mean, it would be nicer if things were easier. This is just what it is, right? But the question is, are you embarrassed by your family's manners?
Oh, man.
This seems to be one of the harder questions for Ruth. She starts rubbing her forehead. She starts sighing, hesitating until she finally says, yes.
Oh.
After that, the camera turns to her parents, who look devastated. Their smiles disappear and the audience starts booing Ruth. What? Did she really just say, after everything that her parents did for her, that she's ashamed of them? Really? For overcoming their struggles and trying to give her everything that they never had? Talk about entitled.
And remember, this was the first episode of this show. Most people didn't know what this show was about. So all these reactions would be the utmost extreme until other episodes come. And then they're like, oh, so this is how the show is. Oh, so you're supposed to tell the truth. Oh, this. But being the first and the premiere episodes, man, I can imagine the hate she got for that particular answer. Your parents raised you and you're embarrassed of them? Really? Really? For some cash? Really? Boo you. Yeah, a lot of that. I can imagine.
Ruth tries to explain to them that she's not embarrassed of them or where they came from, just certain situations made her feel a little bit embarrassed sometimes, like how sometimes they would go to a restaurant and her parents don't know how to behave, or they would be too loud or too this just in those specific moments. I mean, has nobody ever been embarrassed of their own parents before?
No.
It's not like she was embarrassed by their background or how they didn't have money. That's not what she was trying to say. Ruth's parents were a little bit blindsided by this whole thing. Not even just the answer to the question, but the show itself. Ruth did not prepare them for the show because this is the first episode of the show. They couldn't even watch old episodes to get an idea of what they were walking into.
Thank you. That is my whole point. This was the first episode. They don't know anything about the show. She probably told them, Mommy, Daddy, they're going to ask me some questions. If I'm able to answer everything right, I'm going to get money. We're going to get money. I'm going to give you money. And they're all like, okay, let's go to the show. And all of a sudden, are you embarrassed of your parents? Do your parents suck when they go to restaurants? Bro, all these personal questions. And because you're the first episode, is like the weight of the whole Peru is probably on top of your head. You're trying to sink into the chair because your daughter is up there making a crap out of herself just for some money. Well, it's good money, but damn. Oof.
Ruth's mom, she genuinely thought that the premise of this show was to bring on everyday average Peruvians and have them talk about their truth, aka their life story.
So she is definitely blindsided.
You talk about your struggles in life that you face, the challenges that you've overcome, and it's almost a heartwarming story about the human experience and what binds us together. Ruth's mom was actually really excited and proud that her daughter was given a platform to talk about how they struggled and how they would sell pineapples at the night market and they would sell watermelons on the street to make money. Ruth did not warn her about what was going to happen. And now she's being publicly told in front of the nation that her daughter is embarrassed of her at restaurants. It was a lot to take in. Ruth's dad had a little bit of a stronger feeling about the whole show. Okay.
Bro, look at how I don't ever want to see my parents feel this way after I answer any question in life. Or like look this way because of me. Bro, this screams betrayal. They have a host of Peruvians sitting, Peru nationals sitting behind them watching, and then millions on TV, if that. And then we thinking you're going to talk about the struggle. No, you are going to judge us on your struggle just for some cash. Damn, her father's like, oh man, I want to sink in the chair now. His mother's like, I did not see this. I don't want my parents ever looking like this, man. It's sad. It's so sad.
Call it skepticism, I don't know, but he was begging Ruth not to do it. It just doesn't make sense. What kind of TV show is willing to pay you that amount of money to share a heroic story about selling fruits at the market to make rent? That just doesn't make sense. That's not how TV works. He even told Ruth till the very last moment, right before they stepped on the stage, please don't do this. Don't do this. Just don't do it. Ruth's mom would come up behind him scolding him, you don't support your own daughter. How can you say that? We have to help her with whatever she wants to achieve. Both of Ruth's parents showed up for filming, but you can just tell sitting there, Ruth's mom seems a lot more relaxed, at least in the beginning, excited even, and Ruth's dad, his anxiety was practically tangible. The host even asked, what are you so nervous about? Are you worried? Yes, I'm worried. What are you so worried about? The things I'm going to find out about my daughter? I'm worried about if there's ugly things that I will never be able to forget. Ruth's mom, though, is sticking by her side. Well, I have a lot of confidence in our daughter. Since she was a little girl, I would talk to her and I would teach her and I told her how to behave, and hopefully she listened to all my advice, and I am very confident in her. I don't think that there's anything wrong with her or anything weird that's going to come out of this, and if that is the case, I'm probably going to faint. But now is just a lot. It seems like they don't even really know how to react to that question. Question number 8. Have you ever taken the morning after pill more than once?
Yo.
Yes. 3 times. And the answer is true.
No way.
Side note, Peru is a pretty conservative country, so it's just definitely an uncomfortable question to ask somebody. It's not like the US where everyone's like, okay, yeah, moving on, next question. There's a lot of stigma attached to that. There's going to be a lot of shaming that is involved with something like that.
Thank you, Stephanie Sue, for shedding light on my point. Because what I realize is a lot of people in if you were born in like America, right, where it's like quite liberal society, where everybody can do anything they want and nobody can judge them, or I mean, yeah, to a large extent, nobody can judge them. Questions like these don't mean anything. If you're coming from a conservative nation, but I'm telling you, there's some questions that would have everybody look at you like, dude, you are a slut. You don't deserve to even talk to me. My daddy and my mommy raised me right, and you are taking morning after pills. You are stealing things from the floor and not returning it to the people. You are an inherently bad person. My mommy and my daddy wouldn't want me to do walk here with you. Don't touch me. Don't touch my bike. I'm gone. That is the conservative nation. It's crazy judgmental, but rightfully so, because that is what their religion teaches, right? Liberal countries, this is not a question. This is cool. So this girl is not only going to receive long questioning and backlash from her family, her boyfriend, but also everybody watching this for the first time, not knowing what this show was, realizing that this girl is spilling her guts, selling her secrets. It's not going to be good for this girl. It's so sad. It's not going to be good.
Question number 9. Would you forgive your boyfriend if he cheated on you? This one does not seem to bother Ruth much. She just responds to it straightforwardly. No. The answer is true. I mean, it's not really the most insane question. It doesn't even reveal anything about anyone. It doesn't answer or reveal if Brian did cheat on her. It doesn't reveal if she cheated on him. It's just, would you stay with someone who cheats on you? Answer is no? Okay, moving on. The audience...
I feel that was a setup question. I feel that question is setting her up for something bigger. Probably, would you forgive your boyfriend if he cheated on you? Maybe. No. Okay, that's fine. Next question. Maybe. Has your boyfriend forgiven you for cheating on him? And that is the setup. That is what is going to bring, like, that I feel is the setup. This feels like a setup question.
Seems very uninterested in this question compared to the others. In the others, they would be gasping, they'd be wooing, they'd be booing, but this one, they're just like, okay, next. But Ruth, after responding to this question, she seems to start getting a little bit uncomfortable. She keeps kind of shifting in her chair, adjusting her shirt, kind of sighing nonstop. Beto, the host, turns to Ruth and asks if she wants her own family one day. Yes, but I think I'd rather adopt than have my own children.
Wait, so they fill in with like these filler questions?
Yeah, so they just like to get to know the contestant between the questions. And I think they're trying to provide more context. And it's almost like they have these filler questions that lead up to the actual question. I'm scared of the pain of giving birth, and I think it's beautiful to give a new home to a child that's been abandoned. Beto turns to Brian and asks if he wants a family and a child. He says, yes, I do. Okay, well, great. Question number 9. Do you ever feel like your boyfriend does not deserve you?
Oh,
Ruth
no.
glances and she responds very slowly. Yes. The look on Brian's face. I mean, it's what you expect. He clearly does not look happy to hear her response, but at the same time, he's trying his best to look like it doesn't affect him because he's on national television. He tries to smile, but it's one of those like awkward, I don't know what to do right now type of smiles, like, okay, sure. The host asks him, how are you feeling? I didn't know that she felt like that, but I'm okay with it, I guess. I mean, what can I say right now? Last question before Ruth passes level 2. Question number 11. Do you really work at the call center? Ruth is a university student that works at one of those customer call centers to help pay the bills. She can't afford to just be a university student, so she needs to work on the side to pay for her tuition. She has been working there for the past 8 months. Or at least that's what she told her parents and her boyfriend.
No way. She doesn't?
The answer is no.
Whoa!
Ruth states she does not actually work at the call center. Her parents look confused because why would she lie about something like that?
No.
And if she doesn't work at the call center, where is she working? Because clearly she's making enough money to support herself. And if she works somewhere else, why wouldn't she just tell them where she actually works? Unless... The robotic voice comes back on. The answer is true.
Oh my
She
gosh.
does not work at the call center. When you want to find someone in Peru,
Okay, well, before we get to that, the reason why that breaks my heart is we all know the background of her family. Mommy came to the show thinking they're going to talk about how tough they've had it, right? And then her father was skeptical about the whole thing. Her boyfriend's getting his fair share of humiliation on TV. But to crown that with the fact that you never worked at a call center, when your boyfriend and your mom, your dad, all of them knew that you worked at a call center, you're not gonna just get backlash. I think Root is with a society like Peru, not like Peru, with a conservative society, you're gonna lose friends. You're gonna be ridiculed. I mean, the money will not be worth it at that point. Somewhere in America, like call center, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'll take the money. I don't work in the call center. What can you do? You still have your friends. They'll, in fact, dap you up. They'll say, man, that was a good performance. But a society like that, like in Africa, like in some parts of Asia, bro, no. You're telling these truths and you're going to bear the consequences. At this point, I'm even feeling sad for Ruth. I'm shaking for her. Because after her butt gets off that seat and walks out the door, it's going to be a different life. She walked in that door, living a different life. She's going to walk out that door a whole completely different thing because of this show. Ooh, wow.
go to the media. About 11,000 women. You want to find someone in Peru, you go to the media. About 11,000 women in Peru are reported missing every single year. The police do not have time for 11,000 women. I mean, not that I think it's even an issue of time, but more so, they honestly just don't care that much anymore. It's said that if you're not wealthy, influential, or famous in Peru, if you go missing, you will be missed because they're not going to find you. The only way to try and find someone or some sort of help is through the media. Get someone to talk about your case. Spread the word. That's the only hope. That's why in front of the TV studios, it's always a very weird mix of people standing outside. So on one side, you have these really young people who are typically just fans of whoever is going to be on set today. They're waiting, camping out there in hopes of just getting a glimpse, a single glimpse at their favorite idol, at their favorite celebrity. And then on the other side, you have a typically older group of people. They don't care about what celebrity is walking in and out unless they're going to take one of their missing person posters. It's an incredibly unique, niche energy. I mean, there are typically parents with missing persons flyers of their children on one side. Their eyes are bloodshot. They haven't eaten in days. They've been roaming around like zombies, just desperately trying to get someone to tell them where their child is. They're in front of these TV studios trying to shove posters into fans' hands, the ones that came here to just catch a glimpse of their celebrity, and now there's a crying mom handing them a flyer of a missing girl. The parents are canvassing the TV studio looking for any glass window into the building. They try to smack the poster up so some executive inside can see and take pity on them and want to share their story and help them. Over there, the security guard. Please, you have to help me. You know someone who works here, right? Please, my daughter, she would never leave. She would never run away like this. Like, I know something happened. Please, you have to help me. But the security guards, they don't. Because that's what all the parents say. Our daughter's missing. We're poor. We have no money. We need help. Our daughter would never run away. I'm sure it's all true. But that doesn't change the fact that the news stations, they cannot run 11,000 of the same stories every single year.
Man, this is so sad. There has to be a system that is in place to have all 11,000 victims out there somehow, because somebody might help. Somebody may have seen one or two of those people on the missing poster somewhere. It's sad that their parents have to leave. Well, just imagine somebody already poor as it is. They're poor. They don't have anything. And instead of working to survive for the day or for the week, they left their job behind because their loved one's missing. And they have to go time and time again. People waiting for celebrities, people, executives that would, who knows, pass and struggle with other parents with missing posters, other poor parents with missing posters, just to get their missing persons poster in. It is a sad system. Oh my goodness. And because they're poor, nobody's batting an eye, but they're trying. And remember, they can't go to work, even though they're poor, they're losing money they could potentially get to eat for a day or two to do that. Oh my goodness, that is so sad.
In this story, the parents had gone to bed after watching the World Cup qualifying match between Peru and Argentina. It was a big night. When they woke up the next morning, they realized that their daughter had not made it back home, which was weird. She never really liked to sleep on a bed that's not hers to begin with. And also, she is the type that always tells her parents if she's sleeping outside. Like, this was very strange. They tried calling her. She's not picking up. They call her friends. Maybe they all threw a big, huge soccer watch party and then she fell asleep on a friend's couch after drinking a beer. One friend told the parents, "Oh yeah, I was with her last night. We were walking through the university campus together and she got a call on her phone about a guy who wanted to meet up with her. So she left. And I haven't seen her since."
Is it a setup for her next question, or we're done with the game show and this is another day? Oh, I guess we'll find out.
Nobody has seen her since, and the parents are left to repeat the same story that the news stations hear dozens of times every single hour. Our daughter is missing, we're poor, we have no money, we need help, our daughter would never run away. Finally, one security guard snaps at the mom. "Lady, what do you want? Just submit your form and leave." The guard practically spits in her face, and she's had enough, and without thinking, she fires back the only thing that they have. "Please, sir, my daughter, she was the girl from The Moment of Truth. The show, she went viral. She's missing."
Stop playing. So that was Ruth. Oh, and so that was after the show. That was after the show. And that's Ruth's mom just trying to get her poster? Oh, no. This is not going good. This is not going good. Oh, no.
The guard pauses. "What? The girl from The Moment of Truth? She's missing?" Before the mom could even make another plea or take it all back, the security guard leaves his post and runs to grab a cameraman. September 14th, 3 days after Ruth disappeared, 2 months after the viral premiere of The Moment of Truth in Peru, Ruth's disappearance made the front pages all over again. Could her disappearance have anything to do with what happened on the show? That was the question all the news networks were asking. Level 3. Truth is a very tricky thing. It's like a suitcase. You know when you go on vacation, you pack up your suitcase, you roll up all your shirts, and you're like, this is the optimal way to pack a suitcase. And then you fold it all neatly, and you get it just right. Like there's barely enough space for an extra shirt, and you zip it up, and it's all good. But then when you're at the hotel, you gotta fly back home in a few hours, nothing fits. You can't shove it back in. It's the same amount of stuff. You didn't even buy anything new. Why won't it close now? All of a sudden, there's no way for it to neatly tuck back in because it's too late. What is out, and there is no going back.
That's a really good analogy.
Thank you.
Wow.
Stephanie Sue, you are top notch. Amazing. What is out and can't get back in. That is perfect. Everybody has experienced that. Man, you go to a hotel room and the things you fit in your suitcase when you came back doesn't fit in when you're going out. I like that analogy a lot.
Question 12. Would you lend your parents all the money in the bank if they asked you to? Ruth was always known to be a very frugal girl. I mean, she would save every last penny of every dollar that she made. She would not spend any money on anything or anyone. She was very protective over her funds. Ruth looks at her parents, and she already told them that she was embarrassed of their manners. And now this, she responds, yes, I would give them all the money I have if they asked.
And it better be true.
The answer is true.
Okay.
This is the win that the audience needed. I mean, this whole thing was slowly starting to get a little depressing, but now, oh, thank God, the audience starts clapping, cheering. Even Ruth looks a little relieved. But there's still more questions to go. Then the host, I mean, it's kind of clear what questions are coming up next. Beto starts asking Ruth about what she thinks of her boyfriend, Brian, who's sitting, 10 feet away from her. Do you think Brian is a handsome guy? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That doesn't sound very convincing. Do you think Brian is a smart guy? Kind of. Ruth laughs. More or less. Do you think Brian has a good heart? She doesn't skip a beat on this one. Yes, I do. The audience starts clapping. Good. Question number 13. Are you with your boyfriend Brian until someone better comes along?
Oh my
Ruth
goodness.
looks nervous. I mean, there's the right answer, and then the right answer is to say no. You know, you're in love with Brian because you love Brian and you would never leave Brian, and also because she literally knows what this will do to Brian. Brian had a stutter that he was hypersensitive about, very insecure about it. When Brian was just 8 years old, his mom's new boyfriend pushed him down a flight of stairs, and ever since then, he had a slight stutter, which likely happened more so from the emotional trauma of being pushed down the stairs rather than the physical injuries that he likely would have sustained. I don't think that he sustained any physical injuries, which that is something that can very much happen, by the way. Mental and emotional distress from traumatic events can disrupt the normal functioning of the brain and impact the regions that are responsible for speech production. And it was just always something that Brian felt like people were looking down on him for. Even when they weren't, he felt like people were looking down on him. So the right answer to that question is no. I love Brian because Brian is perfect and Brian is good enough for me. But the true answer, the answer that she needs to say to get to the next level and not have wasted all of this, not have done all of this for nothing, is yes, I'm with Brian until someone better comes along.
Pregunta 12. ¿Estás con tu enamorado hasta que llegue alguien mejor?
Oh my goodness.
Sí.
Sí, yes.
Verdad.
Brian looks honestly speechless. He doesn't even look shocked. It's like when you know something is true, but to hear it said out loud adds another layer of trauma. That's what this looks like. And what's
Not just said out loud. Said in front of millions of people, bro. First episode. Everybody's watching. First episode typically tip the scales. Everybody's watching. His friends probably watching. Bro, my girl is going on TV and I'm going to be there. Oh, Brian, kudos to you. Hold it to you. Shit on TV. Yeah, your girlfriend says she is with you till somebody better comes. Bro, no. And the girl is 18, so I assume Brian is around that age. Probably 20, maybe 19. Probably 18 too. Who knows? Probably 17. I don't know. But that is, dang. And your friends sitting watching you getting disparaged on TV like that? Oof. Yeah. It'll do something to a guy, man.
the reason? Who would be better that comes along? The host asks Ruth what her ideal man is. I mean, I'm fine with Brian, but I think I would like someone who's in a better financial situation. She said that she just really wants someone who's very ambitious, and Brian just really isn't that. Brian looks really betrayed by this. He thought that they bonded through sharing the same experiences growing up. Ruth had to go help her parents sell pineapples at the market. Brian had to help his mom sell pre-made breakfast plates. His mom would be in the dirt floor kitchen. Literally, the floor of the kitchen was dirt. And she'd be cooking up these breakfast plates that they would shove into these flimsy to-go containers and try to sell them to workers throughout the town. That's how he grew up, and his prized possessions as a kid were his old soccer posters that he taped onto his childhood bedroom walls. They're like peeling off the walls because they're that old, but Those are his prized possessions. It's not like he wants to be a taxi driver. It's the only job that he can get right now. He's just trying to do his best. So yeah, the answer, it sucked. It cut deep. The whole time, Brian's face looks really stoic. He doesn't have a lot of expression on his face. He looks indifferent. Wow. But when the camera zooms out and it pans down on his leg is shaking uncontrollably. Beto turns and his eyes fall on Brian. Brian, are you in love with Ruth? Yes. It shows. Yes, I am in love. How do you feel about such harsh answers today?
What do you think?
I don't know what to say. Evidently, the answer hurt you, right? Ruth, that was a cruel, cruel answer. Ruth looks uncomfortable. I wasn't trying to make him feel bad. I don't want to excuse myself either, but... The host turns back to Ruth. Is Brian your first ever boyfriend? No, but he is the first man I've ever fallen in love with. Do you think love sees gender? Should a woman only love a man and vice versa? Now, to give you some extra context here for where we're headed, Peru is a very conservative country. There is a heavy emphasis on masculine head of the house roles. The patriarchy lives strong. And, yeah, Peru is conservative, but I would say just like everywhere else in this world, everywhere has conservative parts of their country, so I'm sure everyone can relate. But in Peru, gay marriage is not legal. It's not even recognized as a union. But Ruth, like any normal, honest being, tells the host that she thinks anyone can love anybody. The audience kind of reacts like she's saying some very controversial things. Like some people are like, yeah, some people are like, boo. Beto turns to Ruth. Question 14. Do you have sexual fantasies about women? Ruth's dad looks like he's in pain. He looks like he's in agony, like someone lit the entire couch on fire and he's tied to the flaming couch, forced to sit on open flames. That's what his face looks like right now. He looks like he's just hunched over in pain. Ruth glances at him and responds, yes. She responds that she considers herself bisexual, that she even kissed a girl once when she was younger, and that she's had these attractions since she was maybe 14. Her parents...
Do you know what that is going to do to her parents when they leave the show? Their friends are going to come around, their relatives are going to come around and be like, what have you done to our family? Dude, because it is conservative and conservative countries don't play with certain things. It shouldn't be so. There's some things that should not be so, but it becomes stigma almost. You know what I mean? So on the one hand, it should have been a normal answer. On another hand, because it is not normalized in parts of the country, or if it's mostly conservative, bro, a lot of people, it's going to bring outrage almost, because I've seen it before and it's sad. Oh boy, I wish she just got up and left after the second round. Just take that money and leave. It is not worth it. You've disgraced yourself enough. You've embarrassed your family enough, bro.
They're practically in physical pain at this point. Her mom is rubbing her eyebrows like she's got this giant migraine. Ruth looks over at her parents who just look exhausted, destroyed, over it. Question number 15. Do you think you can maintain your current life and relationships without resorting to lying anymore?
Oh shit.
Ruth glances at her family. No. Because at this point, she has revealed so much. Honestly, too much. What more does she have to reveal? What more can she say? I mean, really, how can she go back to her life? And also, a lot of netizens think, is there anything worse that she can admit to than being bisexual? I'm laughing because that's crazy. But that's how a lot of people in the audience felt. What could be worse than that? She admitted to kissing a girl. What could be worse than that? This was the right hotel, right? I mean, no chance anyone would notice a random cab that's just sitting parked outside waiting for her, right? I mean, who would notice, right? Even at the hotel. The taxi pulls up directly in front of the hotel lobby. And this is the moment. She's going to walk out of the hotel and lives are going to change just a little bit longer to see her beautiful face again. And a girl with brunette hair exits the lobby, exits the hotel. Her eyes are scanning the parking lot. She's clearly looking for someone. The door of the taxi flies open. This is the moment. Seeing her again. But wait. It's not her.
Huh.
Ruth's father runs out of the taxi and walks over slowly. He's almost embarrassed that he jumped to conclusions so quickly. This is not his missing daughter, Ruth. He glares at the taxi driver standing behind this random girl. This driver told him that he knew where his missing daughter was. All it would take would be the most expensive cab ride to reunite him with Ruth. $250 to get him to the hotel that Ruth is staying at. That's what he told Ruth's dad.
That's sad because they're already poor. So why, if you thought that was Ruth and you had evidence that was Ruth, won't you approach her, talk to her first and say your parents are looking for you? And then before you tell the parents, but you have them take the expensive, they're poor. You have them take expensive cab ride just to go find out that wasn't Ruth. Dang, bro. Oh my goodness.
What?
And it was all a lie. That's what it was. It was a scam. It was a lie. This was not Ruth. The girl doesn't even look to be the taxi driver's daughter either. It looks like she's just caught up in something a lot darker.
Wait, that's it? It was a scam?
Just a scam.
The taxi driver, let me just drive you there and pay me the money and left.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Ruth's dad looks at this strange girl that's not Ruth and just tells her, go home. Just go home. Whatever it is, your parents are going to forgive you. She looks like a runaway. So just go home. And with that, Ruth's dad breaks down and bursts into tears. But some people find his story a little bit interesting. He never mentioned the taxi driver's name, never reported what hotel it was and what happened to the girl afterwards. How did he get home? Did the taxi driver take him home? It was just a strange story. The authorities get another tip about Ruth's disappearance soon after. A miner states that he lives in the same neighborhood as Ruth and Brian, and he tells the police another very interesting story. He tells the cops that on the evening of September 11th, the last day that Ruth was seen, he was paid 50 sols, around $13, to be a lookout at the bus stop. The last thing the boys saw was Ruth being shoved into the back of a moto taxi by two shadowy figures. Level 4. The questions, like I said, are on a pyramid scale. So level 4 now just has 3 questions. Just 3 more questions, and that's it to get to level 5. At this point, if she passes level 4, she's going to win $5,000. That's like the equivalent of someone winning like $60,000 in the US.
Whoa.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Question 1 of 3 for level 4. Do you think your parents would be proud of you if they knew what you did for a living? No. Ruth tries to explain. It's not like I do anything illegal, but I don't work at the call center, and it's just, I'm embarrassed about it, and I came onto the show to tell the truth about my life to my parents and to everybody, but also to escape what I do for a living. So, but no, the answer is no, they would not be proud. Question 2 of 3 for level 4. Do you work at a nightclub, Ruth?
No way.
Ruth hesitates. She looks at her parents, and they already know the answer before she even says it. Their heads are hanging, their eyes are closed in disappointment. Just to give you some extra context, nightclubs in Peru are a little bit different. So from my understanding, and please correct me if I'm mistaken, but from my understanding, there are nightclubs in tourist areas in Peru that are very similar to what you would expect nightclubs in the US to be like, just clubs. But most other nightclubs are known to be places in which one could solicit sex work, whereas maybe we might not make that connection here in the US. And side note, sex work is completely legal in Peru. Ruth's mom bends down and puts her head in her hands. She looks heartbroken. Her father says he's so conflicted. He doesn't want her to answer. He doesn't want her to continue playing this game, but at the same time, he knows that she should at least reveal it, because how else would he ever know the truth about his daughter? It's like, do you want to know? Do you not want to know? That's the dilemma. Brian, on the other hand, he doesn't even want to hear anything anymore. But Ruth has to answer. The question...
You see, the thing is, with her father, Knowing the truth is vital, but knowing the truth on live TV is it's crazy, right? I think she wants to know the truth, but not in this circumstance. Not when a lot of Peru nationals are watching them. It's heartbreaking. And I bet you if they had the chance to leave, they would. But at this point, they've come so far. A lot has been said. A lot has been revealed. The disgrace is already there. And that is the sad part of this whole thing.
Was asked, and once the question is asked, you either lie, which means you lose all your money, or you don't answer, which means you lose all your money, or you tell the truth and you walk away with what you've won so far. Yes, I work at a nightclub.
17. ¿Trabajas en un nightclub?
Sí.
Ruth's mom has her head in her hands. She doesn't even want to make eye contact with her own daughter. She's hiding her face. She can't even look up and look at the cameras. She just wants to sink and disappear into the couch. Ruth tries to explain, and I don't know if it makes it any better. She tries to explain that she's just one of the 30 dancers at the club, and she gets paid around $50 per dance, and she only performs on stage maybe 1 or 3 times a night. That's it. And yeah, she's not wearing a ton of clothes at the club, but really nothing is showing, like none of her private. She's not completely nude while she's dancing. Ruth's family are speechless. They have nothing more to say right now. For the past 8 months, they thought she was working at a call center. It feels like she's living a double life. What can they say? But there's still one more question left. Question number 3 of 3 for level 4. Ruth's mom is practically begging her to stop at this point. Nothing more she can say is going to help the situation. It's only going to get worse from here. Brian, he seems stunned. Like he can't even put together complete sentences, even if he tried. It was a lot. If she answers the next question truthfully, she will walk away with $5,300, which is about 13 months of work for the average Peruvian.
Wow.
To try and put that into a clear comparison, that would be someone in the US winning around $62,000 if you look at the national average salary.
I mean, it's a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but is it worth selling your secrets? To me, my secrets are priceless. Not like I am hiding anything, but if I ever have secrets, those are priceless. If you give me 10 years worth of money and stuff like that, you got to pay me for life to hear the secrets. So if I don't go out, I can eat for the rest of my life. But if you're giving me like a year's worth of work's wages, that is not enough. It's not even close to being enough for me to sell you my secrets. And it looks like it's getting bad and bad. Horrible.
Beto turns to Brian. Brian, what do you say to Ruth? Stop or continue? I don't want to hear anymore. You don't want to hear anymore. Ruth chooses to continue. One last question to secure $5,300. She's already come so far. Question number 3 of 3 for level 4. Once the question comes out of Beto's mouth, everyone goes silent. It's like holding their breath. I mean, they know what the answer is going to be because of course they do. They're not going to ask a question like this unless the answer is very clear. Ruth stares out into the crowd, but also at her parents and her boyfriend. Her mom is bent over as if she has a raging stomach cramp, like a stomach ulcer that came out of nowhere. She is literally hunched over. It is an impossible situation. Clearly, seeing her parents in that amount of pain, why would she keep going? She wants to just not answer. Of course she doesn't. But she's already come this far, and not answering is also an answer. If she doesn't answer, people know what her answer is, so she might as well answer with her own mouth and at least get the money that can be something to prove for this whole nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you put your butt on that seat? I'm sorry, Mr. Ron Mango. I didn't know he was going to talk. Why don't you put your butt on that seat? Anything you do is an answer at that point. If you have to answer to win the money. If you don't answer, it is an answer enough. Like, why are you not saying anything? Are you guilty of it? I mean, you're getting interrogated. Right? But in this interrogation, it's like you revealing your darkest. It is lose-lose. It is lose-lose. If you call me for such a show, regardless of what situation I am in, Bro, we are talking millions at this point. And I'm talking hundreds of millions, probably billions to sell you my secret. Do you know me? Bro, you're gonna, my secrets? No, I'm not. Keep your money. Dang.
I mean, the moment that they asked this question, everybody already know the story, right?
Like, why would they ask this question unless...
Yeah.
She
Right.
looks at her parents, then back at Brian, then back at her parents. Just one word. That's all that is standing between Ruth and $5,000. Just one more yes or no, and she will be guaranteed to win the level 4 prize. I mean, of course, she can still continue to play level 5 for more than triple the amount, so she could get over $10,000. The comparison would be like $200,000 in the US if she were to complete level 5.
Okay.
But it's just about this one question.
yeah.
So she answers.
This is
Yes.
what I'm getting now. It's like it's not really a truth telling show. It's literally you agree to air your darkest secret for money, basically.
Yeah.
So they already know what's true. So they're just like, here's a list of your darkest secret. Every time you unveil more, I'm gonna give you more money.
Exactly. Yeah,
My point the whole time. I said this since the beginning. This is not a truth telling show because who is even to justify what's true or not? It is the producers. You're revealing your secrets and they're paying you for it. You're selling your secrets. And it's scary. There's a reason it's called secrets, bro. I don't want to know your secrets. So I'm not telling you mine. I don't need your money. Go away. Oh my goodness. This is a show to sell your secrets. And it is bad because the whole world gets to hear it, judge you on it for the rest of your life. So you better stretch that money they give you for the rest of your life. No matter how you stretch it, just stretch it.
they're not paying for truth.
Yeah, they already know. We already know the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that. Yep.
Wow.
And it's like, I think they're just paying to watch your whole life fall apart, question by
Yeah.
question, really.
Yeah.
They ask the question, and she responds, yes. Everyone is just kind of gasping in shock and disbelief. I mean, it's the type of confession that makes you go, what? Is this for real right now? A woman's voice interrupts the commotion, and it is the loudspeaker that announces the results. The answer is, and the audience goes even more quiet, holding their breath, anticipating the answer. The answer is true. And the audience is basically buffering in disbelief. They're at a complete lack for words. They look at Ruth's loved ones on stage, hoping that they're going to be the ones to break the silence. Her mother can't even make eye contact with her. Her father is fighting back tears. And Brian, her boyfriend, his eyes are glazed over, like he's disassociating. A producer called him a zombie, that his face was registering nothing in that moment, because they too are at a loss for words. It is Ruth that eventually breaks the silence. It was just twice. We needed money. We were in a bad situation, and it won't happen again. It's never going to happen again. Beto gives her a chance to explain, so she elaborates. I mean, the whole money thing, but there were also no options, and it's not like she enjoyed it. She mentions how she was bedridden with guilt for 3 days. She couldn't bring herself to get out of bed. She didn't eat for 3 days.
Yeah, but twice though. Did she bang somebody? And you said, oh, it happened twice. If you were bedridden for 3 days and it weighed heavily on you, you needed money and stuff like that. You do it once, you saw how it felt, and you had to do it twice. This show I'm glad it's canceled. It was so scandalous. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's looking like the non-English one, the Spanish Peruvian one, might be worse. Well, given how the nature of the country, that might be worse. Oh my goodness.
More silence. Beto tries to ease the tension. You have now passed the 4th level and have $5,000 in your pocket, but it has cost you so much.
Wait, so we don't know question yet?
You will soon.
Okay.
You've already taken off your mask in front of the mirror, in front of your parents, in front of the whole country. Still, your parents are suffering. You must make a decision. Ruth has two options now. She can either walk away with the $5,000 or continue to answer the last 3 questions in hopes for doubling the reward. Before she answers, Beto continues and asks the family, what do they want her to do? Brian is bouncing his leg trying to avoid the questions, the attention, everything. Her father says it's up to her to make the choice.
No, Dad, you got to tell your daughter to walk away with the little sliver of dignity she has left, if any at all. Walk away. It's not worth it. Those 3 questions might even be more brutal than what she has uncovered already. She's going to be judged by peers. She's going to be judged by your friends, Mr. Dad. She's going to be judged by your wife, her mom's peers. She's going to be judged by the family. It is a conservative country. And we know how it goes. So, screw those 3 questions. You've sold enough of your secrets. Those 3 questions might be like earth-shattering. Let's leave those to the imagination. Take your 5,000. Let's get out of here. And let's salvage what we can. Don't leave it to her.
Mother says, I want to leave, love. I want you to leave.
Yeah, I agree.
Then from the crowd, one brave audience member heckles and the rest join. Go home. Leave. Don't do it. Don't continue.
No
Wise
way.
words.
The crowd is letting their disapproval be known, literally booing Ruth off the stage. She has no
Right.
choice but to say that she's going to stop now. 3 questions short of tripling her cash prize. The game comes to an abrupt end.
There you go.
For the audience to tell her to stop, that is wow.
Ruth will be walking away with $5,300. And again, that's about 13 months of work. She earned almost a little over a year of work in just a few hours. It should be a moment to celebrate. Confetti does get released from the ceiling, and technically she should be celebrating because she won, but instead, her parents and her boyfriend, they just stay seated on the couch. They don't even get up. She walks over and gets on her knees, grabs her mother's hands, and says, forgive me. I kneel before you because you're my mother, because you're the person who brought me into this world with much pain, and you have always stood behind me. The same with you, Dad. I'll never find someone like you guys. I love you, Mom. Please, I love you. Please forgive me.
It's sad, man. It's sad. And to see confetti coming down, like Stephanie said, there was confetti. Is that even appropriate? Does that tell you something? Does that tell you the producers don't give a shite about you and your life and your secrets? Yeah, you have broken bonds. You've severed your relationship. You've disgraced your family, but we don't care. We got our ratings. Hey, drop the confetti. Give her $5,000. Get out of here. Next contestant, right? Sometimes TV is not just TV, but the entertainment industry. What people will do for entertainment is evil. She had to go kneel and beg. Her parents couldn't meet her halfway to hug her. Everything, it's earth shattering. Their worlds have come to an end. People are going to ridicule them as if being poor was not enough. Just for $5,000. Shh, bro. The world is sad, man.
Ruth is on her knees. Her mom brings her up and hugs her, but her eyes stay open. Ruth's episode will air in a month. It will kill. It will surpass all previous ratings. Ruth's picture of her smiling and holding her giant oversized $5,000 check from the show will be on the cover of every single major newspaper and magazine, with everybody wondering, was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
2 months later, a body would be found at the bottom of a well.
Whoa.
The next time Ruth is on the news, she will be 16 feet down, covered in concrete and rocks.
What?
Murdered. After the show airs, just 2 months after the taping of the show, I mean, nothing would be the same in the Saez-Sanchez family. I mean, nothing. The family went through so many cycles. They would feel bad for their daughter, Ruth. They felt like she had gone through so much and then she had to do it all on her own. And she didn't feel comfortable talking to them. I mean, I'm sure to a degree the parents felt like it was their fault. Had they had more money, maybe she wouldn't even have done that in the first place. Then they would turn to anger. I mean, but like, why? Why couldn't she just get a normal job like everybody else that came from families like theirs? Why would she need to do that? And then why go on national television and ambush us? You knew what kind of questions they were going to ask, and you still asked us to go on this show? Why would you completely blindside us?
That is the part I don't get. That is the part I do not get. Of course, you can give her the benefit of the doubt because there was no precedent to watch. There was nothing like that show to watch to see how it goes. But you know, because you took the polygraph, you knew the questions they asked. They asked all those damning questions about your family. They asked the damning questions about your boyfriend and stuff like that. You knew the questions in the polygraph. That should have been a cause to pause. Dude, no, I'm not doing this. Really? You're going to ask me intimate questions like that for some check? That may or may not last 3 to 5 years. It's not even guaranteed. No. It's sickening. No. And she ambushed them, didn't tell them anyway. And unfortunately, she never should have lost her life, but she did in a well. Now, my list of suspects, 3 of them. I believe the dad may have done it, and I'm sorry if he didn't do it, but probably because of the incident of the taxi story where he couldn't provide the taxi driver's name and stuff like that. Number 2, the boyfriend. He looked so out of it. He was like seated there, but he wasn't on earth. His mind was somewhere else. He could have done it. Number 3, somebody who was not right there in the building, but saw the show and was affected by it. Probably a relative. Probably another relative. That is who I'm thinking did it. Or an ex-boyfriend or something. But somebody who wasn't in the building. So I have those 3. Her mom would never do it. Her mom was the one like going with her pictures and stuff. I still think she loved her, even though she was humiliated. But yeah, gosh, man.
The parents were confused. They didn't even know how to process this type of information. Ruth's dad especially had a hard time adjusting. I mean, that's his baby girl. And he just knows way too much about her now. It's not that he doesn't want to treat her the same way. He just didn't know what to say to her. He just needed some time. There were a lot of arguments on why Ruth even did the show to begin with, and Ruth would just tell her parents, for the money. Other time, Ruth's mom would stare at her and she would just have these tears in her eyes. What happened to you? Why have you done this? I mean, who even are you? She would walk over and start wiping her mom's tears and giving her pats on the face and little kisses on the cheek. No, Mommy, forget it all. Those are all things I said for the TV, but Mommy, you know the truth in your conscience. Yes or no, Mommy, you know the truth. I'm gonna go to class, okay? But why would you do this then? What have you done to us? I did this so that we could win, Mommy. We could win money. And
there's no winning in that. No winning in that. If I sat on a polygraph chair, you start asking me about deep questions. I mean, questions like, did you cheat on your wife? Did you do this? Definitely no. So those are easy to answer. But if you're going to, have you done this before? Have you done that before? Things just me and my wife and my family knows about. Nope. And I'm not interested in the show anymore. If you want me to do it, 200 billion. I have to make the Forbes list. Just put it there. If you can't give me that money, I'm not doing it. I don't care. You find someone else to sell their secrets. Crazy.
what are the people going to say? Our family, relatives, everyone in the country that's going to see it? What about that? I don't care, Mommy. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. How else was she supposed to earn that type of money in that type of time? She wanted to open up a salon so that she could take care of her family and make sure that her parents don't need to worry about money. This show was going to move her closer to her dream. I mean, rapidly. Fine, maybe she's going to be the laughing stock of the nation for a while, but at least she would have some sort of future. That's what she thought. That's what she reasoned with herself. That's what she told her parents. And then the episode aired. The show Value of Truth became the #1 show in all of Peru for 15 weeks straight. The ratings were through the roof. The viewership was, unseen before. Like, this was crazy. The show became a national conversation. Newspapers, other shows, talk shows were talking about the value of truth. They were reacting to it. All the major newspapers, they had the same photo of Ruth smacked on the front covers of everything. Her face was everywhere. And Ruth thought she could handle it. She could handle the attention. She could handle the hate and the opinions. She would just wait for it to die down and then try to open up her salon. That was her initial plan. But nothing ever goes according to plan. Even if Ruth were to open up a salon, she doesn't even know if customers would come now because her reputation was pretty much set in stone. She was known for a few things now. And Ruth started becoming very depressed and having these negative thoughts. Her dad said, the entire neighborhood that we live in, it's just a hellhole of gossip. Ruth couldn't even leave the house without people coming up to her, giving her their opinions on what she did and about her last question. Other times they would just stare, point, and even take pictures of her with their phone like she's not a normal human being, like she's a petting zoo animal. But nothing was as bad as the guys that would, come up to her. Anyway, Ruth would try and stay in her house isolated from the world. She's trying to escape all the people talking about her, but it's kind of hard because sometimes they would just call the house. Ruth's relatives, some of them they haven't even spoken to in years. They were now calling Ruth and her parents to tell them how ashamed they were that they are part of the family and that they are embarrassed of Ruth, and she is the biggest shame of their bloodline. And
Now, that's what I'm saying. Maybe one of those people unalived her. Maybe. Because, one thing is, with nations like that, with systems like that, conservative, everything is scrutinized, everything is judged. If you carry your family's name, do something bad, or something touted as disgraceful, it's not just your family that bears the consequence. Your relatives. People who know your relatives are going to say, is that not your niece? My goodness, your niece is disgracing the family. Oh, I don't want nothing to do with your family. It becomes that much. It's overblown into something it's not supposed to be. You could have looked at this situation in two ways. She's an 18-year-old girl wanting, let's say, money or technically fame, knew she was going to come on TV, and this happened. The adults could have said, you know what, pump the brakes on yelling at her. Pump the brakes on crucifying the girl. Let's talk to her. Let's get her out of it. But no, the adults, kids, teenagers, youth, everybody is on her tail. And that is sad. I believe it's between those three. His father, her father, her boyfriend, or one of those relatives that kept calling the house.
in front of her parents, Ruth tried to stay very strong. She tried to have this whole screw them all attitude about it. I don't care what they say about me. I won money and my life is going to get better once this blows over, and they're going to get nothing out of it. But with her sister Ava, Ruth was a bit more honest. She would lay there on the bed staring at the wall. What have I done? What did I do? Why did I do that? And now mom and dad are in the eye of the storm, and I just don't understand why I did any of that. Some people gave her advice, just lean into it. Milk the situation for all it's worth. What else can you do? So soon after her episode aired, Ruth did a few quick interviews. She told the journalist, to a degree, she feels that she was liberated by the show, But what about Brian? Everyone wants to know about Brian. How are you and Brian? Well, the truth is we don't even talk to each other anymore because when I call him, he doesn't answer. But I'm also having a hard time, and he should understand that. I'm not the only one to blame here. He is also to blame, and he knows it. But I would rather just leave it at that. I don't want to have any more problems with him or his family. She's trying to keep all this upbeat energy for the audience, but you can just tell in these interviews, she looks mentally drained and exhausted.
Right.
3 days
Dang.
after Ruth goes missing, the case blows up on national mainstream media networks. Ruth's family were all hopeful. They're all talking about Ruth, right? The news stations are, the people are, which meant her case is getting attention. And if someone knew something or someone saw her, it would be reported. The more eyes, the better. Ruth's mom remembers thinking, yes, I'm gonna find my daughter now. I'm gonna find my daughter. And she expected the news anchors to talk about Ruth's role as the first contestant of one of the most popular TV shows on air currently. Something along the lines of, the girl from the show The Value of Truth is missing. But instead, news anchors all stared into the camera and said, the prostitute from The Value of Truth
Whoa.
is missing.
Whoa.
What?
I do want to clarify very quickly that
Oh
I
my
wanted to
gosh,
change the
bro.
word to sex worker, since I know that the term is not appropriate. However, I thought it took away the gravity of how inconsiderate and dismissive the news networks were in regards of Ruth's disappearance. So for that reason, I have kept it verbatim. The news anchors did not refer to Ruth as Ruth or Ruth the college student or Ruth the daughter and sister, but Ruth the prostitute from The Value
Oh
of
my
Truth.
goodness.
Some netizens believe that had she not been asked the very last question, the question that helped her win $5,300, had she not been asked that, she would be alive right now. She would not be dead. Some
Okay, Stephanie, I've been holding my patience for far too long. Please, can you tell us what the last question is? I'm dying to know. I want to know. Because her answer is insinuating that it might be, did you sleep with somebody? You know? And the fact that they're calling her the P word is making me think that is what it was. But Stephanie, please tell us. I'm dying to know. I'm really dying to know.
netizens wonder, is it the producer's fault then? Because they're the ones that come up with these questions. They pushed it that far. Are they not to blame? Others argue, no, they're not. She's the one to blame because if it wasn't the truth, then they wouldn't have asked. After Ruth's body was found, the last question from that episode was played on repeat on every major news network TV station over and over again. Last question. Have you ever accepted money in exchange for sex?
Oh, Mo.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, no. And it's on live TV, and people know your family. And your family, no. Oh, no.
That was it?
That was it. The camera turns to Brian, and the narrative and the story was made. The headlines would run. The nation's green hat slave.
¿Has aceptado dinero a cambio de tener relaciones sexuales?
Sí.
So they focus on the boyfriend.
How?
They focus on both. I think that Ruth honestly probably had it harder than Brian, but
Yeah. But Brian was
Yeah.
also coined that.
yeah.
Wow.
Even his defense attorney would use that word a lot.
What's the word?
Green hat slave.
What?
I mean, what?
Yeah. So life gets really hard for Brian after the show airs. And to be fair, it was kind of unfair what happened to him on the show. He was just there to support his girlfriend, but he was ultimately publicly humiliated. Some Peruvians would state that something unforgivable happened to Brian. He was turned into a green hat slave in front of millions of people. Peru has a very strong patriarchal, masculinity prioritized culture. To be a public green hat slave was, in their eyes,
Wait, my question is,
yeah.
how is he a green hat slave?
Right. That,
Is
I
he
was going to
part
say
of
that.
No.
So how is that? Is he considered that?
He got cheated on. So, okay, I think the difference here, and I think the reason that people called him a green hat slave is, and I was looking into it, and tell me how Jeff Bezos comes up into this, right?
Whoa.
So basically, when people use that term as a diss, I don't want to say derogatory, but like a diss, they call someone a green hat slave. Sometimes it's There's no proof that it even happened. It's just a type of energy, they say, someone carries. For example, after Jeff Bezos was engaged to his new fiancée, Lauren Sanchez, there is a picture of him. It's him and Lauren Sanchez on his mega yacht, Jeff Bezos's mega yacht.
Yeah.
And her ex-husband, who happens to be an NFL player, is also on the boat shirtless. And they're both looking at him.
I see.
And they say that even though Jeff Bezos is one of the richest men in the world, he always had this nerdy tech energy that people imagine him to be a green hat slave. So that became a huge meme. And because throughout the whole episode, Ruth was saying things like she doesn't necessarily think that he's smart. She thinks that she deserves better than him. And he's there just supporting her the whole time. A lot of people felt like it was a green hat slave
So
moment.
the whole message together makes him okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just he was blindsided and cheated on, but I think it was just throughout the episode, all these little things were stacking up.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, once you're considered that, it's almost free game for anyone else to disrespect you and make fun of you. I mean, what are you going to do? You're a green hat slave. That's not me saying that. That's what a lot of people were thinking. Brian was walking home one day. This is after it airs. He sees a group of high school boys just loitering on the side of the road. He's maneuvering so he can just walk past them. But as they're passing each other, as he's passing the group, he catches one of their eyes. And he can once you're considered that, it's almost free game for anyone else to disrespect you and make fun of you. I mean, what are you going to do? You're a green hat slave. That's not me saying that. That's what a lot of people were thinking. Brian was walking home one day. This is after it airs. He sees a group of high school boys just loitering on the side of the road. He's maneuvering so he can just walk past them. But as they're passing each other, as he's passing the group, he catches one of their eyes and he can almost see the moment that it registers in the high school boy's brain. At first, he looks up, eyes are blank, meets Brian's eyes, and it's like a light bulb moment goes off. His eyes get bigger and he's got a little spark in them. His face starts moving. His mouth opens up. Guys, it's the green hat slave. The rest of his friends turn. They're uninterested at first, but when they see Brian's face, they light up and they start bullying him, taunting him. He has to run and hide in a nearby store to get away.
What?
Another time, Brian was caught off guard by a journalist who was waiting for him at his front door. How do you feel, Brian? Tell us about what you feel after the episode is aired. Brian won't even look at the camera. Embarrassed with my friends and my family. I started finding out everything she had done to me. How can I feel? You're a man. How would you feel? Yes, I can imagine, and I will try to put myself in your place. But they say that when you love someone, you can forgive everything, right? Depends on what they did, what they've done to you. The things that was shared that day by her, I cannot forgive. When news was initially circulating that Ruth was missing, the first person on everybody's radar was obviously Brian. Reporters chased him down asking him questions. What were you doing the night that Ruth went missing? Answer the question, what were you doing? I can't remember. I was drunk that night. The reporter looks at him and blinks. If you were me, would you believe yourself? Like I said, I don't remember that day. I was drunk. But your conscience is clean. Yeah. Everyone knew Ruth's parents hated Brian. They always felt like Ruth could do better. This is even before the show. And I'm sure most parents feel that about their kids, but really it wasn't even just that. There was something about Brian that really irked them. Ruth's mom said, I don't know why, but I hated that kid. There was something unsettling. Every time you talked to Brian, he would talk crouched down, staring at the floor. He couldn't even look you in the eye. But it didn't feel like it was necessarily because he was so shy. It just felt like it was just weird. And they hated him more now because now they thought he's responsible for Ruth's disappearance. A few days before Ruth vanished, Brian showed up at their house one night drunk. Ruth did not come to the door, but Ava did, her sister, because her sister's trying to talk to him, calm him down, like, please, just leave us alone. Like, what's done is done. What more is there to say? He's drunk. He's slurring his words. He's standing at the front door. You know what, Ava? Your sister told me that she was going to give me money, but she hasn't given me anything. That's enough, Brian. You're drunk. Go home. We'll talk tomorrow, and I will try to get you whatever money you were promised.
Bro, after that humiliation, she didn't even give Brian something? Consolation thing? Damn, bro. I'll be salty, to be honest. Because, like, you're not the only one carrying the burden at this point. I can't even go too steps out of my room or my house without kids ridiculing me. I have to hide because everybody's calling me a green hat slave. You can't give me any consolation from that money. I mean, it's not like it's going to change anything, but it's not going to reverse anything at all. But at least, oh man, this whole thing is screwed up. It should not have happened in the first place. I'll be the first to say. But man.
Brian just stands there, not moving, and he smirks at her. He leans in closer to Ruth's sister and says, "Revenge is sweet." Ruth's family didn't even find out from the police that their daughter's body had been found. I mean, I guess at that point, they didn't even have confirmation that it was their daughter. And I think maybe the family could hope and pray that it wasn't Ruth, but the odds are not really in their favor. A body had been found on Brian's uncle's property.
Brian did it. Brian did it. Bro, you disgraced him publicly. You shamed him, embarrassed him. You did all that. He had to go around being called a greenhouse slave. Came to you. You didn't even give him part of the money. I mean, your relationship may have been severed, but man, like some freaking $200 out of $5,000, or maybe $100, maybe. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, but this is what I can give you. Something. And for him to say revenge is sweet, and he was found on Brian's family, bro, I'm telling you, it's Brian. It's Brian. The boyfriend did it. I'm sorry to the dad. Boyfriend did it. What?
Feet deep inside of a well. From the top viewpoint, you could gather that this was a girl, a young woman, but the rest of her body was covered in concrete and rocks. It was hard to identify her from the top. They would need to go in and retrieve her body. So yes, there was a chance that it wasn't Ruth, but who else could it be? Ruth's dad and sister, Ava, they rush to the property, and when they get there and park the car, it's just cameras everywhere, all pointed at them. The reporters are all there. Ruth's dad said the newspapers were desperate, the radio stations were desperate, and I was desperate. It was just all desperation. They were desperate for a story, and I was desperate for my daughter. They waited an hour. The reporters were just with them until the police told them that the body did indeed belong to Ruth. Their daughter was dead. Ruth's dad and Ruth's sister, Ava, they just fold into each other. Reporters keep asking questions and shoving mics in their faces to capture the very first words out of their mouths when they figure out the news. But what can he even say? There's nothing to be said. They were silent.
Bro, some reporters are disgusting. Leave them to grieve. There are some things that, bro, you're watching this in real time with them. They just realized their family was unalived and was retrieved. Give them some space. You want to ask questions? Fine. Give them some space. Let them grieve first. Let them be in a state of shock first. Calm down, and then you ask them questions. Stop being idiots. Oh my goodness.
And just sobbing in each other's arms, and the cameras are zooming in on them. There was never a question of if anybody else did it. It was clear from the get-go that Brian was responsible.
Right.
So Brian is arrested, and eventually he is brought to the scene of the crime. He's brought to the well. Ruth's dad is calm. He just wants to see the young man. Just ask him why. This is his daughter's ex-boyfriend. To a degree, yeah, they hate him, but to a degree, they trusted that he would never hurt her. The police warned Ruth's dad, "You gotta keep your cool." "Of course, I promise. I mean, I just want to ask him a question, that's it." He approaches Brian. The officers are standing around them, surrounding them, making sure that nothing happens. What's faster? A police officer's arm or a rock?
Oh shit.
Ruth's dad went with the rock. He pulls it out of his pocket and goes to slam it down on Brian's head, but he was shoved backwards by a police officer and he lost his only shot. Watching all of this, Ava, Ruth's sister, just drops to her knees crying, screaming Ruth's name over and over again.
Damn.
Meanwhile, Ruth's mom was at home and she has no idea what's going on. I mean, on some random isolated property outside of town, they found a body. She doesn't even know this news. It's unclear if she even knew what her husband and her daughter were doing. Perhaps they didn't even tell her so that they wouldn't worry her unless they were confirmed that this was Ruth. But a reporter named Maribel and a cameraman show up at Ruth's family's door. The door swings open and Maribel drops her head and offers her condolences. Ruth's mom is a little bit confused, and Maribel thinks, oh, maybe she didn't hear me. Maybe I needed to say it louder. She repeats her condolences for her dead daughter, but Ruth's mom, she's just staring at her confused, like, what is this lady talking about right now? Maribel realizes that Ruth's mom did not know that Ruth had been found. Maribel felt herself choking up. She's a TV reporter. She never had to tell. All she could manage to say was, ma'am, they found a girl. Ruth's mom ran up inside the house, up to the second floor, and slammed the door shut, and she locked herself in the room, and all she could hear from the outside, the reporter could hear, was the most gut-wrenching, emotionally disturbing wails coming from inside the room. Maribel's cameraman caught it, and it was aired for weeks.
What?
Just the cries of a mom who lost her daughter. Ruth's mom knew it was Brian from the moment that Ruth didn't come home that night. I mean, the very next day, with no proof, she went to Brian's because she was so sure it was Brian. She knocked on his door. She was sobbing, crying, screaming. All the neighbors start walking out of their homes to investigate, like, what is this noise? And in front of them, on the dirty street, in front of Brian, who is just staring at her with indifference on his face, like she's just some sort of stranger that he has no connection to, Ruth's mom felt so desperate that she dropped to her knees, just tears pouring out of her eyes. Now that she thinks about it, she said she was kneeling to Brian like he was some sort of god, and she was praying to him. And she begged him, Brian, please give me back my Ruth, please. Brian let her beg for a moment before stating very bluntly, Ruth, I haven't talked to her in a very long time. And he turns on his heel and just walks off. And now she knew she was right. She obviously did not want to be right. Her reaction to finding out her daughter was killed was played on almost every news station except one channel. They decided to stick to their regularly scheduled programming rather than switch to breaking news. They wanted to air their regular scheduled show, another episode of Value of Truth. After Brian's arrest, he immediately confessed to killing Ruth. He said, my name is Brian Levia. I'm 20 years old. On the night of September 11th at approximately 11 p.m., I called Ruth. That night she went missing. I asked her to hang out. We were going to meet near the bridge. And at first, things were really awkward. We barely talked, but we thought maybe this was a way of rekindling the affection that we did once have for each other and put this all past us. You know, one could argue that nobody else would know what that they're going through right now besides each other. She gets into his moto taxi. They drive to his house. They park on the street and they just sit outside on the street on the moto taxi drinking a cheap bottle of $3 wine. And then they head upstairs to Brian's room and Brian claims that they had sex. Afterwards, though, it's like a switch flipped. Ruth starts screaming at him out of nowhere. She's very upset and she tells him, I don't know what I'm doing talking to a poor moto taxi driver like you. Brian said that he snapped. All the looks, the smirks, the comments, texts from his friends that he received after the show aired, all of them were flooding into his mind, and it was all because of her. Brian said, and that's when I grabbed her by the throat for 30 seconds. I held her like that. I thought she passed out. I listened to her heart, and I didn't hear anything. I grabbed her, and I shook her, and I heard nothing. I got scared. I didn't know what to do at this point. So he picked up her limp body, carried her into the bathroom, put her in the bathtub, and then went downstairs to the living room where there was a party for his mom's birthday. And he got drunk while upstairs, Ruth's body was in the bathtub.
Yeah, Brian, man. I mean, you're a sick psychopath. You need to do jail time, serious jail time. You need your ass in jail for the rest of your life. You a sick, sadistic psychopath. If this story is true the way you narrated it, I don't believe the we had a good time sex part. I think you were so mad at her, you invited her over to the party, whatever party that was. You know what? Let me talk to you upstairs. Come upstairs. So let me talk to you. And then because it was so loud, you strangled the heck out of her because of everything that's going on. You can't go to their house and tell her sister Karma's coming. Karma's, revenge, whatever, and create this elaborate story that we were having sex, we were having a good time, and that happened. No, I don't believe you. You sick, sadistic psychopath, bro.
He said later his uncle came to move Ruth's body into the well on his property. During the trial, Brian's attorney would argue that his client Brian snapped under the pressure of national humiliation. The crime can be traced all the way back directly to the show. That episode could not have existed without Brian. That's the truth. The program had impact so long as you had a sitting up there. You can call him Brian or change him to a new man, Juan, Pedro, whoever. They just needed a man to be the laughing stock, the green hat slave, a they need a victim for Ruth's lies. But when Ruth's parents did not agree with this sentiment, Brian and his uncle decided to see if they could press charges against Ruth's parents for throwing a rock at Brian when they found Ruth's body in the well.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
When you think that they can't go lower, they do go lower. And it runs in the family. It's a bit of a side note, but before the trial, Ruth's mom was beaten by Brian's dad. He attacked her with so much vengeance that I would not be surprised if you told me that he wanted to kill her. What? It was a lot. Her eyes were swollen shut because he was pounding her in the face.
Ruth's mom was beaten by Brian's dad. Whoa. What? This is so unbelievable. I can't even make this stuff up. What?
Ava, Ruth's sister, asked, do they just want to kill our whole family at this point? What is wrong with them? During the trial, Brian would also argue that he was not a green hat slave, that he and Ruth were not even dating at this point when the show was being filmed, which some netizens genuinely believe. Others think that he is so upset at the idea of being a green hat slave. Like, this is what's bothering him when he's on trial for murder. Like, this is what he wants to clarify. Like, hold on, I need to use my time to tell you about this. He said that he and Ruth broke up a while back, but because she wanted to be on this show really badly, she felt like she needed a boyfriend storyline to make the producers want to air her story. She's like, the questions have nothing to do with you, but I just think that that's the only way I'll get casted. She asked him to pretend to still be her boyfriend, act like they never broke up, and go on the show with her. In return, she will give him a percentage of whatever she wins in the prize money. He said that he agreed, having no idea what kinds of questions were going to be asked. He said it was a total ambush, and Ruth knew that she was going to expose these types of questions and secrets and had no concern for how that would make him appear as her, quote, boyfriend. He also even claimed that the producers of the show knew that he wasn't even Ruth's current boyfriend anymore. They knew that she had broken up with him, but they didn't care as long as it was good TV. So it was all.
Yeah, Brian, you went there anyway. You followed her anyway. So all this romance was dead story, we were exes and stuff like that, it doesn't even play into it, because what drove you to unalive the girl, in my opinion, was whatever came out of that show. As to whether you were her boyfriend at that time, whether you were her pretend boyfriend at that time, whether you were playing her boyfriend at the time, that's irrelevant now. Now, she did something on the show, it hurt you, she didn't give you a cut of the money, and you unalive her. That's what matters. I don't care if you were her boyfriend or not. And your father beating her mom is so disgusting. Shame on him.
Fake. That's what Brian claims. He also claims that the show has the most responsibility for Ruth's murder. Yeah. He stated, people need to see the host of the show for who he is. They need to understand his manipulative and frivolous attitude in the face of the harm that he has caused in our lives. One of the producers, David Navoa, he admitted that he felt really bad for Ruth's death. He said that he was the one that conducted the polygraph initially, and he spent a lot of time trying to pick out the questions to ask Ruth that would make for the best TV. He said the last question, the one about work, he knew what that would do to her family. He said, I knew it was going to be a surprise to her loved ones, and a very shameful moment for all of them. But to the producers, it was a celebration. They nailed the viewership. It was a good day at work. It was a job well done. The rating.
Yeah, the confetti told it all. The confetti at the end of the show, when somebody's family is leaving them, told the story. The confetti that was at the end of the show, when somebody was going to have a breakup, told the story. Ratings through the roof. Everything skyrocketing high. That is all producers are about. Don't be fooled into thinking somebody called a producer cares about you, wants you to work a project with them, and so you're going to, believe them, trust them, everything. No, 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 no. No, they care about TV and ratings or whatever they got going.
I mean, it was skyrocketing. They were popping champagne in the offices.
Right.
At one point, he was asked
crazy.
if Ruth would still be alive had she never appeared on the show, and he said, of course. But then he pauses for a second and says, well, I don't know if she would be alive. Maybe she would have died some other way.
He said, of course.
The host, Beto, one of the most famous journalists in the country, was called to testify during Brian's trial, where he basically said what he would publicly later state: I have huge condolences for the family. Our doors are open for them and the investigators, but the media have tried to turn the show into the origin of the crime, and that is something we reject because there is no relation between one event and the other. We have seen how they are trying to shift the blame from the murder to the TV program. The murderer is Brian and his uncle. Those who are saying it's from the TV show are just doing the murderers a favor. That is not the motive. That is not the crime of passion by a teenage lover. And even then, the nature of their relationship is unknown. We will not be intimidated by everyone trying to tear us down in the show.
Yeah, well, that is crazy. Dodging responsibility and accountability. The premise of your show and how it's set up caused it indirectly. It made the boyfriend dude angry, thereby unaliving her. If she never did the show, they could have still been together. But because they did the show. So stop mess me with all those explanations like, oh, it didn't do anything. It wasn't the show's fault. It was their fault and stuff like it was your fault. Take part of the blame.
Beto announced that he will be helping the family pay for any legal fees that they may encounter during the trial. Brian's whole defense hinges on the fact that he wants society to feel pity for him, to understand where he was coming from and why he had to kill Ruth because he snapped. But at the same time, Brian has no remorse. Before the trial, Brian underwent a psychological test, and the specialist found that he was incredibly cynical, insensitive when it comes to human life. He is indifferent to other people's pains. He lies. He has no remorse. He covers up all of his wrongdoings. He might be minimizing them, and that's how he gets away with it. Even when describing Ruth's murder, the murder of Ruth, he describes his actions in a very indirect way. That the producers did this, Ruth did this, society did this, and he's just the weapon that was used. As if he had no choice in any of this. February 27, 2014, the court declared Brian and his uncle Reddy guilty for the murder of Ruth Talia.
Good.
They were both sentenced to life in prison, but technically in Peru, a life sentence is 35 years. That's as long as a sentence you can get. Interestingly,
Nigga, 35 years? 35. That's the longest you can get in Peru. 35 years. He'll still come out, still eat, sleep, shit, fart, and everything after 35 years. He still has a life. Ruth's not coming back. That is disgustingly disturbing.
enough, the court did not believe a single word of Brian's confession. Yeah. I mean, they do believe undoubtedly that he killed Ruth, but they do not believe that they were meeting up for intimate relations and Ruth triggered him by being mean and that he just choked her for 30 seconds. It can take someone anywhere between a few minutes to sometimes even up to 20 minutes of strangling someone to actually have them die. I mean, one may become unconscious, but not dead from that. So they believe it's premeditated, it was planned from the get-go, and the motive for murder was not that he snapped due to the public humiliation he suffered. He straight up wanted revenge, and he wanted all the winnings from the show. There was evidence that he tried to obtain Ruth's bank security codes. Now, the two of them, him and his uncle, will be in prison together, and Brian was ordered by the state to compensate Ruth's family up to the tune of $200,000, though I don't think that they're going to get any of that. When the news networks reported Ruth's disappearance but called her the sex worker from that one show, Ruth's mom said, "They killed me." When she heard it, she said, "They killed me in my heart." Ruth's dad said when his daughter went missing, "I felt like I was floating. There were moments where I couldn't tell if I was asleep or if I was awake." And both of them would have these really hard conversations of how much guilt that they have. If they had prevented her from going on the show, would things have been different? Would Brian still have so much hatred for Ruth, or would they have naturally broken up and moved on from each other? They just know that their daughter's life is worth way more than $5,300.
Dang.
So why? I mean, could they have done something? Ruth's mom said, "Nobody understands my immense pain. It's just too immense. When I die, that's when I will stop suffering." She visits Ruth's gravestone once a week to wash it and to pray. And every day she wakes up to Ruth's picture that's hanging in their room. It's an altar. And she talks to Ruth. She'll say things like, "Good morning, dear. Take care of your siblings, dear. I'm on my way out. I'm sick, so please help me feel better. Your grandma's also sick." She tells Ruth every little thing that happens in her day, and she thought that this would help with the healing process of grieving her daughter, but she realized at one point it wasn't healing. She was not accepting Ruth's death. She said sometimes she would expect Ruth to talk back, and she would find herself getting frustrated and crying in front of the photograph and screaming, "Why won't you speak to me? Just talk to me. Why won't you talk to me?" But then she'll realize she can't because she's in a photograph.
Dang.
So for a while, Ruth's mom even stopped singing. She just couldn't bring herself to sing. I mean, how could you sing? Singing feels like such a happy activity. You're having a good day, you're running errands, you sing in the car. You're in the shower after a good night's rest in the morning, you sing. How could she do that? How can she sing when her daughter is dead? But one day, Ava, her other daughter, came up to her and said, "Ruth must be crying in heaven, Mom." What do you mean? Why would Ruth be sad in heaven? Because this is not what she would have wanted. She would have wanted you to sing.
Oh.
And Ruth's mom is now singing again. And that is the story of Ruth Talia. What are your thoughts? Have you ever seen an episode of Moment of Truth? I mean, I think that feels like a social experiment. That is when humans went way too far.
Yeah, it sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
Yes, for like the sake of entertainment and the fact that it was hard. I was watching clips of Moment of Truth. It's hard to watch it. Like, I understand the appeal of reality TV. Sometimes you want to see people doing goofy things and maybe to a degree even embarrassing themselves for mass entertainment. But that was like a level of, it just felt sadistic. I don't know what I'm getting out of it. It's, I don't even want to watch it. I'm just,
Yeah, it's very primal.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Have you seen an episode? And are you glad it's no longer around? Please leave your thoughts in the comments and please be safe. I will see you guys on Wednesday for the next episode. Bye.
Before you dislike the video,
Man, oh man. Dang, bro. This is serious. This is absolutely serious. I first and foremost, rest in peace to Ruth Thalia. She didn't deserve that at all. She did not deserve that. Man, what a piece of rat's turd boyfriend. You know what? He didn't deserve all the name calling and stuff like that. But at the same time, once you divorce her, in a few months or years to come, nobody would remember it. Or nobody will associate you to her because you're not with her anyway. All you got to do is break up with her, have 2 or 3 interviews, and that's it. You're good. You're straight. Live your life. But you couldn't move on. She didn't give you her money, part of the money, so you're mad. Threatening people and stuff like, bro, yeah, you deserve to get your ass in jail. And 35 years is woefully small for what you did. Rest in peace to Ruth Thalia. Man, producers are just pieces of rat's turds sometimes. You get an 18-year-old to open your show to start the first season, like the premiere episode. You ask her all these questions and you're happy throwing confetti after. You're not like, there's no sliver of humanity in you to sit and think like, dang, man, she's about to lose all her relationship. No, you just go ahead. After she does that, throw confetti. Yeah, we made it. Pop champagnes. Disgusting. Man. All right, man. I'll just see y'all in the next one. This is just a sad case. Love you all so much. Bye.
Tuned in, hit play, let's take a ride around the world with Steven, we worldwide. stories so wild, they keep you hooked. Subscribe and share, come take a look. Reacting to the stories of crazy to real. With every new video, we bring the thrill. From mysteries to drama, we cover it all. Join the fam, let's have a ball. From dark tales to